Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was raised by acnologia and fairy tale. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Marvelous16 and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Ojimfkin. 5 Elemental Seal. When Orochimaru hit Naruto with his seal to cut off the 14-year-old boy's access to Nine Tails chakra. He didn't know that by doing this will forever change how the future of this world was supposed to go. The Snake Sannin however will come to realize in the near future that he made a grave mistake that will be the cause of his downfall. As Orochimaru turned his attention to Sasuke to give him a cursed seal, an unconscious Naruto had his consciousness dragged deep within his soul by an entity that was not the Kyuubi no Kitsune. It was in space not even she, the strongest of the Bijuu could access, no matter how many times she's tried ever since she's been sealed inside of Naruto. When the young blonde opened his eyes, he noticed that he's no longer in the forest of death with his teammates. Looking around, Naruto saw that he's floating in a purple and blue space. What the hell? Did I die or something? Naruto shouted to himself, he couldn't hear anything except his own quickening heartbeat. No, you aren't dead. A voice behind him scoffed in disbelief, how could his reincarnation believe he could die so easily and pathetically? It was unfitting. Naruto jumped slightly from suddenly hearing someone speak, he turned around to see who the voice belonged to. There's a man with dark skin who stood around 6'3" in height, blue draconian markings could be seen on the man's body and face. His eyes were blue, though held a sharp and piercing gaze, they also had circles around them. The man had a very muscular physique with long dark blue hair with 2 large bangs framing his face. He's wearing no shirt with a pair of torn-up baggy pants with no shoes, though he dons a high-collared black cloak, which bears the same blue draconian markings. There is a sash around his waist along with 5 claws that serve as a necklace. How long are you going to stare at me, kid? The man's tone held a bit of annoyance. Naruto blinked several times before chuckling sheepishly. Sorry about that, but who the hell are you and where are we? My name? I have quite a few that I've gained over a long time. I'm Acnologia, the Dragon King and Black Dragon of Apocalypse. Acnologia introduced himself. Acnologia? Naruto repeated. I've never heard of a name like yours before, pretty unique. Acnologia smirked. As for where we are inside of a space deep within your soul. Tell me kid, do you really not recognize me? I don't seem familiar to you at all. The blonde Uzumaki titled his head in confusion at what Acnologia meant by that, is Naruto supposed to know this guy? Narrowing his eyes, Naruto focused more on Acnologia trying to see what he was missing. Suddenly it hit him like a brick, images of Acnologia flooded his mind like a tidal wave. He stared at the Dragon King with wide eyes full of shock. Why, you're the guy from my dreams. The one who is always fighting and killing dragons. Naruto shouted. Acnologia chuckled darkly. Good to see you do recognize me, Naruto. After showing you many of my memories for so long, it's about time we met face to face. Although I didn't plan on making contact with you myself until another 2 years from now. Naruto couldn't believe he was talking to the guy involved in a lot of his nightmares growing up. For the longest time he always wondered why he always constantly dream about dragons fighting against one another. Then there's the term mage he always hears in his dreams. Deep down the boy always knew that his dreams were far from normal, but he chose to keep quiet about them since he didn't know if anyone would believe him. The villagers already hate him and try to make his life terrible because of the Kyuubi being sealed inside of him. The last thing he wanted was for word to somehow get around in the village about his dreams, only for the villagers to start making crazy assumptions about him being possessed. I'm so confused. What do you mean by another 2 years? Just how are you inside my body? Naruto asked, he was starting to freak out about all of this. Acnologia rolled his eyes, sensing the boy's uneasiness. You've heard of the term reincarnation before, correct? Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything? Naruto wondered with a raised eyebrow. Everything, you're my reincarnation, Naruto Uzumaki. To keep it short, I got bored of ruling my world since I took out all who stood in my way and absorbed all of my enemies' souls and powers for my own sake. So I used a technique to reincarnate myself so that I could find new challenges to satisfy my desire to battle. I don't know how, but my soul ended up leaving my world to come to yours. Let's just say I've been with you longer than the fox has, I've been with you ever since your mother Kushina Uzumaki became pregnant with you. The reason I said I didn't plan on meeting you until another 2 years is because I wanted your body to naturally grow up more prior to our inevitable fusion. Acnologia explained. Naruto's mind was completely blown, first he learns he's Acnologia's reincarnation, then he learns his mother's name all at the same time. What really threw him off is the last thing Acnologia just said. Fusion. What do you mean? Pretty self-explanatory, kid. Listen, when the snake person hit you in the stomach with his attack, he severed your access to Fox's power and messed up your ability to use your own power or chakra, as you humans of this world call it. At the same time, the snake caused the dormant magic power within you to finally awaken. His actions allowed your consciousness to be pulled to the source of your magic power, which so happens to be me. You're the only human in this world to ever have the ability to use magic, unfortunately due to you already having massive reserves of chakra and a weak body. Your body at its current state isn't ready to wield my power. As for what I meant by fusion, we were always meant to become one entity ever since my soul entered your unborn body. There's nothing that can stop it. Like I said, I planned on holding this off for a couple more years, but that snake ruined my plan. Not that it matters now. Acnologia shrugged. So because I got hit with that snake lady's attack, me and you are going to become one person sooner than what we were supposed to. Didn't you just say that my body is too weak to handle your power? Naruto questioned. Yes, which is why our fusion along with my magic will force your weak pathetic body to grow and adapt to be able to handle your new power. If I had to guess, you will look similar to myself. The Dragon King answered. Hey. It's not my fault that no one ever helped me. Whether it's the academy or Kakashi-sensei, neither really taught me anything to prevent me from being this weak. The villagers did me no favors either. Naruto blew up on Acnologia. Acnologia didn't look fazed at all by his rant. You know what I hear? What? Naruto asked. Excuses. Acnologia stated coldly. That single word cut into Naruto's very core, almost as if he was stabbed in his heart. What? The blonde genin uttered in disbelief. You heard me, kid, all I hear are excuses that I find absolutely pathetic coming from the same kid who shouts how he'll never give up. Acnologia growled. Naruto's eyes widened. Is it true? Is he simply just making excuses for his shitty situation in Konoha? Now, I'm not saying you're wrong to feel the way you do. Trust me, I saw from within you just how the villagers treated you growing up. It's not fair, but the world is never fair to anyone, especially those without real power. No matter what universe or world, the strong and world itself will always trample over the weak and helpless. That's just how it is. You want to know how to overcome the hate you deal with every day, kid? You have to rise above it. Not only that, but once you rise above it, you grasp the hate and crush it like you crush and destroy your enemies in battle. Heh, how do you think your Hokage demands respect out of his soldiers if one of his soldiers gets out of line? The Hokage uses his strength to instill fear into that soldier, which in turn will cause the fearful shinobi to gain respect for their leader out of fear and make them think twice about crossing their Hokage. Acnologia explained. While Naruto understood what Acnologia was saying, he didn't believe being feared is all that much better than being hated. I get it. No, you don't. The blonde flinched hearing Acnologia raise his voice. It's obvious the man carried power in his tone. You don't get it because if you did then you wouldn't be as weak as you are now. Instead of just taking the abuse, you should have found ways to make yourself stronger on your own by going to the library to look up training methods so you could fight back. You could have used your stealth to spy in order to see how other shinobi in your village train. You've known the transformation jutsu or whatever it's called ever since you were 10 years old. Why didn't you ever utilize it to your advantage rather than for foolish purposes? You knew your transformation technique was a real transformation and not an illusion, yet you never thought of going to any of the stores or the library under a transformation. As the carrier of my legacy, it's an absolute disgrace that you allowed yourself to become like this when you have so much potential without my power. Honestly, I think I'm grateful that the snake did what he did because it's embarrassing watching my reincarnation continue to go through life the way you are, kid. Acnologia harshly berated Naruto. He didn't care if Naruto was a kid and could only do so much. He will not accept any excuses from the one who will carry on his legacy in this world. Listening to Acnologia's harsh words, Naruto couldn't deny that he was speaking nothing but cold hard facts. Why didn't Naruto go to the library more when he knew the teachers in the academy wouldn't help him? Sure, he trained, but did he train in anything valuable to help expand his mediocre skills? Even now his only useful technique is the shadow clone jutsu, a jutsu that he constantly has to overuse due to not knowing anything other than the academy 3 and tree walking. Although he's always been kinda good at tactics because of his elite pranking skills. Still, what's the point of good tactics when you don't have the strength to fall back on if those tactics fail? Naruto has seen Acnologia battle enemies inside of his own dreams. The blonde never saw the Dragon King lose a single fight regardless if battle tactics were used or not. Why didn't Naruto do more to better himself rather than focus so much on trying to gain attention? Look at where all that attention got him now. A weakling who is the pariah of his own village. Why the hell should I care about what others think about him? So what if he holds the Kyuubi? It doesn't excuse the overwhelming hatred and suffering he had to endure for years. You're right, Acnologia, all I did in the end was allow the villagers' hate to get to me. I hardly tried to truly fight back with any real strength to back me up. I allowed myself to get so bad that it resulted in us meeting earlier than we were supposed to. Because I didn't have the strength to really make a difference, I wasn't using the fox's chakra without even realizing it until the last minute. I'm nothing more than a pathetic failure. Naruto cursed himself. Well, what you say is true, I still respect you for not going as low as to consider taking your life. I also respect you for being a Jinchuriki. So that's something, I guess. Acnologia smirked. Jinchuriki? Naruto echoed in confusion. Basically you're what's known as a human sacrifice, one of 9 who hold a Biju inside of them. You'll understand more soon enough. Acnologia shrugged. Okay, wait. You know my parents? Naruto shouted in shock. He remembered Acnologia mentioning his mother earlier. You'll find out about them too, as well as the truth. Now listen, you didn't notice, but a few days have already passed in the real world. As we are speaking, your body is about to go through a drastic change for the better. The Dragon King informed the blonde. Naruto's eyes went wide once more. Few days. That long? Wait, so who will neither one of us exist as we are now anymore after this fusion of ours? Not necessarily, you'll still be the one in control of your body if that's what you're asking. You just won't be the same person mentally, it'll be a fusion of sorts of our personalities. Trust me, you will understand when the fusion is done. It's really not that hard to understand. Acnologia was becoming annoyed again. He could have sworn he explained this to Naruto already more than once. Okay. I get it. I'll be me, but not exactly me anymore. Naruto held up his hands in surrender in an attempt to not risk Acnologia raging out on him. So now what? Now? Naruto blinked in confusion when Acnologia placed his hand on his chest, although that didn't stop him from being a little scared of the dark expression Acnologia is giving him at the moment. Now, it's time to get this show on the road. Naruto Uzumaki, as the one who is the carrier of my legacy, you will take up my name and titles that I have been given over the many years. I don't care how you choose to wield my power, as long as you're no longer as weak and pathetic as a worthless human insect. You will be this world's first ever dragon slayer that your enemies will fear. As my reincarnation, along with my power, you will gain my memories, skills, experiences and all of the other kinds of magic I've acquired from my enemies. Not only that, but you will gain the copy I have of your mother's memories that I obtained when she was pregnant with you. As well as the memories and power of Ashura Otsutsuki. The other guy who was connected to you by reincarnation like me. Acnologia chuckled, then smirked darkly. His eyes were completely blood red as a purple and black aura shrouded his form. Now Naruto Uzumaki, go and show the world why they should fear the reincarnation of the Black Dragon of Apocalypse Acnologia. The man roared as his magic erupted out of him in form of a waves. With wide eyes, the last thing Naruto saw is Acnologia being going inside of his heart. The moment the former Dragon King was gone, the blonde Uzumaki's vision turned white as his form became submerged in the powerful waves of Acnologia's magic. Scene change, few days later within the Forest of Death. Team 10 had stepped in to help Sakura against the Sound Team when Ino spoke up about Sakura needing help. Lee tried to help Sakura earlier but was defeated from an unexpected sound attack. Right now Ino was possessing Kin's body using one of her clan's jutsu, however due to slamming back first into a tree she was laying on the ground. Toji, who had intercepted Zaku's attack on Ino, was sent the opposite direction. He stood up groggily with his hand covering his mouth, groaning. I don't feel so good. Ino grunted in pain, she looked up towards Dosu and Zaku, speaking from Kin's body. I don't understand you guys, what kind of monsters would attack their own teammate? I guess monsters like us. Zaku smirked. You see, we don't play this game by your rules, it's not the scroll we are after or even passing this test. Dosu voiced. Toji, Shikamaru and Ino gasped in shock. What then? Ino questioned. It's Sasuke. Dosu answered. No one noticed small tendrils of purple and black magical energy slowly seeping out of an unconscious Naruto who is starting to stir slightly. Shikamaru's shadow that was restraining Dosu from moving began to shrink in size, making the Nara clan air cursed mentally. I hate it when it does that. Oh? So your paralysis jutsu has a limited duration, I see. Dosu commented. Shadow possession jutsu, get your jutsus right. Shikamaru corrected the Odo shinobi. Dosu replied. Whatever, and I see that your teammate is able to slip her soul inside of her opponent. Very clever, but dangerous. Anything that happens to Kin, happens to her too. So let's say, Kin were to die, Dosu trailed. What are you going to do, kill your teammate? Shikamaru questioned with narrowed eyes. Zaku aimed his left hand at Ino. Well, if push comes to shove, yeah. Team 10 glared at the Sound Team, Shikamaru complained. Oh man, this is too troublesome. Yeah, no kidding. Choji agreed. Did you really think you could beat us? Face it, you Konoha shinobi are just a bunch of losers. Zaku mocked them. From a second-rate village. Dosu said. Huh, that's pretty tough talk. Everyone looked up to see Niji and Tenten, Lee's teammates, up above on a tree branch looking down. Niji is standing with his arms folded. I guess that makes your village third rate. I wonder if any of you amateurs are ready to take on the real thing. What? Dosu voiced in shock. Zaku was also shocked before he glared at Niji. They're Lee's teammates. Sakura said to herself. Niji and Tenten saw Lee, both injured and unconscious on the ground. Lee. Tenten called out in worry. Niji sighed. You goofed. Ha. Coming out of nowhere like cockroaches, Dosu commented mockingly. That kid with the bowl cut lying over there is on our team, but you messed with him, didn't you? Niji's Byakugan pulses to life. The appearance of his bloodline took everyone on the battlefield by surprise. What's with his eyes? It's like they can't see through everything, Dosu wondered as he watched Niji look over everyone. No more playing around, Tenten, we're fighting with full power. Niji ordered. Right. Tenten nodded. Suddenly Niji's eyes widened, his expression was one filled with shock. Tenten noticed and asked. What's wrong, Niji? This chakra, no, I don't even know if it's chakra at all, since this doesn't feel anything like chakra. Yet Niji trailed his thoughts. Using his Byakugan, he noticed that something strange was going on with Naruto. Whatever this power is, Niji can easily tell it's extremely powerful. HMPH, if you don't like me, are you going to keep playing it cool and stay up there all day? Or are you going to come down here to my face and do something about it? Dosu tried to goad Niji. Niji closed his eyes, smirking. No. Evidently there's no need for that. It actually seems like it might have been taken out of my hands. Dosu was confused by what Niji meant until he looked ahead to see where Naruto and Sasuke were laying down. The small tendrils of magical energy from before were now larger tendrils. Pretty much everyone was watching and wondering what the hell was going on. Eventually Naruto's entire form became covered completely in purple and black magical energy. Within his shell of power, the blonde Uzumaki's body began going through a drastic change. A eruption of power had been released from Naruto that caused everyone in the area to cover the eyes from the dust and wind kicking up into air. It got so intense that a large pillar of purple and black energy shot high into the sky. Shocking everyone as they all saw dark clouds begin to form into the sky. It wasn't just them either, nearly everyone in Konoha who could see it saw the pillar of magical energy shooting into the sky. A lot of civilians began to get worried seeing thunder and lightning appear. Hiruzen saw and sensed this phenomenon taking place. He wonders what could possibly be fusing this. He briefly wondered if the Kyuubi is involved, but instantly disregarded the notion considering this energy he's sensing while extremely powerful, it doesn't feel like chakra at all. He's sure even people who aren't sensors can sense this immense power. He's worried because this energy feels more powerful than the Kyuubi's chakra, believe it or not. However, because the exams are going on, Hiruzen has no choice but to wait until the second part of the exams are over to check what's going on. The reason being it's clear to him that this pillar of energy is coming from the forest of death. He can tell that much from looking outside the window in his office. Little did Hiruzen know at the time, because of this phenomenon, a lot of future events will change from the way they were supposed to happen. Like a few future events, for example, that will be taking place very soon in the near future. Konoha itself will never be quite the same. Back in the forest, all of the genin in the surrounding area were still watching Naruto's transformation, not that they could see his body going through the literal changes. Speaking of transformation, the blonde Uzumaki's change started with his height increasing. His muscles, ligaments, tendons and bones tore and broke down repeatedly in efforts of making his body overall stronger than ever. When it came to his skin, it started becoming a darker tone of his usual fair skin. Both his skin and teeth were becoming denser, draconian markings appearing on his body and face. All of his senses were being enhanced very significantly. As for his hair, it became exceptionally long and spikier. The color of his hair changed from blonde to scarlet red. Suddenly his eyes shot open, they were completely glowing red menacingly. A deep growl had been heard for a brief second until a very loud and powerful roar escaped Naruto's throat. This roar was so loud it was in fact heard not only through the entire forest but the entire village as well. It caused everyone to freeze for a single second, wondering just what the hell made that noise. It sounded bestial, that much is certain, some wondered if it was the Kyuubi. None of them realized that the roar itself is one belonging to a powerful dragon. As all of this was going on, various sets of memories had been replaying in Naruto's mind at hyper speeds. Going from acnologia, his mother Kushina, Ashura and even his own memories. Following the roar, another burst of power was released from Naruto once more. The ground itself within the entire forest was shaking for a bit until it finally stopped. Everyone could see the sky returning back to normal as the pillar of magical energy started to recede into Naruto's body. Hiruzen decided it was best if he made his way to the tower in the forest of death. He figured there is where he'll get answers. In the surrounding area, the genin teams noticed the dust, wind and energy was lessening, and soon all of them were able to gaze without having to cover their faces anymore. It left them even more confused as to what happened with Naruto. They saw that along with dust in the air being practically gone, the energy outputting from Naruto was nowhere near as much as it was just a moment ago. Luckily for them, none of them were blown back from Naruto's sudden eruptions of power due to the genin teams using their chakra to keep them steady. Naruto no longer had thick layers of his magic covering his form, he was actually standing up. Sakura, being the first to have a clearer view of Naruto, called out to him. She was kinda scared, however Naruto is still her teammate. And Naruto? Is that you? She gasped in shock at what she saw. She wasn't the only one to do so either. Uzumaki Naruto stood in a crouch, his body completely shadowed over as he was covered in a thin black and purple aura that's flaring in a strong manner. Black and purple magical energy swirled around the Uzumaki, causing the ground to break a bit. Ground particles were rising from the ground. Shikamaru and Choji looked on in shocked and scared expressions. Naruto stood up straighter. Naruto, that's Naruto. Ino asked herself, seeing the new markings on Naruto's body glowing red for a brief moment. Everyone in the surrounding area was shocked to see a completely different Naruto. No longer the short, skinny, blue-eyed blonde knucklehead he had always been. Now he stood at a much taller height, growing from 145 centimeters, 4'9", to 172 centimeters, 5'7". His physique was way more muscular and fit, exactly similar to Acnologia's build. His whiskers became more defined. They all saw that his short, spiky hair was now long and scarlet red rather than blonde, the length of his hair reaching his lower back. Two large bangs framing his face. Once cerulean blue eyes were now the color amethyst, with his pupils being sharp fox slits. The same color as his mother's eyes. Then there was his skin tone. The group saw it was darker with scarlet red draconian markings on his body and face. Overall, Naruto gained a lot of characteristics of Acnologia, though he still looked like himself kinda. When it came to his attire, they essentially had been torn to shreds for the most part due to not only him unleashing his power, but also his body outgrowing them. His shirt and jacket were no more, leaving his chest naked, his shoes were gone, making him barefoot. Pants were both torn up and too small for him. With a single snap of his fingers, a high-collared black cloak and black baggy pants appeared on Naruto. The pants obviously replaced his torn-up orange pants, the length of the black pants stopped at Naruto's calves. Lastly, there was a necklace around his neck that had claws on it. The reason he chose Acnologia's attire is because it was the first choice to come to his mind. He didn't see a need to wear shoes. Looking at himself, he was very pleased to the new changes to his body, they were definitely welcomed by him. All of the memories of his mother, Acnologia and Ashura that he watched somehow caused his mind to expand, in turn becoming far more intelligent than he had ever thought he would be. Naruto gazed at his new power that's hugging against him like a blanket, understanding all of the magical abilities he gained from Acnologia. The main power being Acnologia's dragon-slaying magic. Honestly, it felt fucking incredible to Naruto how much power he has at the tip of his fingers alone. After flexing his hands a few times, he quickly checked out his newly enhanced senses. Once he finished doing that, Naruto looked around, seeing a few familiar and unfamiliar faces. His attention, however, focused solely on Sakura, noticing her roughed-up condition. "Sakura, who did this to you? Who was it?" Naruto's voice was deeper than before, it held power in it. His magic was still swirling around his form. "Those marks, that dark powerful aura he's projecting there, remind me or something," Dosu thought internally with a wide eye. Sakura was looking up at Naruto in confusion and a bit of fear. "Naruto, what's happened to you? You've completely changed," she asked. Naruto smirked. "Yeah, I have changed a lot, haven't I? Don't worry, I'm fine, it's my new power flowing through me that caused me to change this drastically. In fact, I've never felt better. You see, Sakura, during the time I was unconscious I learned a lot of things about myself. I learned that I was born with a power greater than chakra. Until recently that power stayed dormant within me. It's thanks to that snake Orochimaru for cutting off my access to the Nine Tails chakra. Unknowingly to Orochimaru, his actions allowed me to discover and awaken my power that you all are witnessing right now. With my newly awakened power and all the information I know now, it's clear to me that I was never meant to be treated or seen as the demonic trash most of the villagers in Konoha see me as. Oh well, they will soon learn their actions have consequences." Naruto chuckled darkly, making everyone very wary of him. "And now I see the way he speaks tells me that those marks aren't a curse mark. Yet I get the feeling that this is many times worse than any curse mark possible," Dosu thought while staring at Naruto. "Sakura, tell me, which one of these people dared to harm you while I was still unconscious?" Naruto asked the pink cat again. Zaku smirked. "That would be me." Naruto's right eyes gazed over at Zaku, he turned himself in Zaku's direction, glaring at the sound ninja. "Ino." Shikamaru called out to his teammate. Who was still possessing Kin's body, looked over towards Shikamaru. Hurry up and get back in your body, you don't want to get involved in this. You too Choji, come on, get out of there. I'm coming. Choji ran over to his team. Ino released her control over Kin. Mind transfer, release. Kin fell to the ground. Ino groaned as she made it back to her own body. Atta girl, good to have you back. Shikamaru smirked. Shikamaru, what's this all about? What's going on? Choji asked his friend. Shikamaru gave Choji a frown. How should I know? Staring directly at Dosu and Zaku, Naruto flexed his power slightly to instill fear into their hearts. He was pleased to see Dosu's eyes widened in pure fear. What is this? This changes everything. It clearly isn't chakra from what I can tell, but whatever this power is, it's too big and too powerful. It's insane. There's no way we can fight that. Dosu came to the conclusion mentally. Dosu, what's wrong? You're not getting cold feet, are you? Zaku questioned his teammate. Dosu turned over to Zaku. No. Zaku, you don't understand. Watch this, I'll take care of all of the whole bunch of them in one fell swoop. Zaku aimed his hands towards Team 7. Zankyukuha. Extreme decapitating airwaves. Using a large amount of his chakra, Zaku emitted a high-pressure mixture of sound waves and airwaves from the holes in the palms of his hands. Directing his attack straight to Team 7, momentarily blocking visibility. Team 10, Dosu, Niji and Tenten all had to take cover from the powerful air and sound waves of Zaku's jutsu. When the jutsu stopped, the sheer destructiveness caused the ground to carve up and reduced everything in the path of the technique to dust. A little dust could be seen in the air around the destroyed area. Zaku was breathing heavily, he smirked seeing his handiwork. Heh. What do you know? Blew them all away. Pathetic. Naruto spoke from behind Zaku, causing the sound Genin's eyes to widen in shock. The new Dragon Slayer lazily punched Zaku in the back of his head, sending him flying past Dosu straight to a tree. Naruto didn't put anything at all into the punch. Zaku. Dosu cried out. Zaku collapsed on the ground, groaning in pain while coughing violently. The side of his head was bleeding, Zaku forced himself to roll over a couple times, slowly turning his head to look at the Uzumaki. Such speed, he got his teammates out of harm's way in a blink of an eye. Dosu stated in shock. Naruto said nothing as he casually walked directly towards Zaku when Zaku had finally been able to stand up. He froze when he saw Naruto right in front of him, glaring down at Zaku like he's worthless. Before Zaku could try to do anything, both of his hands were gripped by Naruto's strong hold. Without any effort, Naruto easily pulled Zaku's arms out of their sockets. Everyone in the area watched with shocked expressions seeing and hearing Zaku's arms pop out of place. Forcing the sound Genin to cry out in pain. Just when they thought Naruto was done, he surprised them all again when the sounds of bone snapping could be heard. His chakra, I don't know what this other powerful energy he's using could possibly be, it feels way too foreign, I've never felt anything like it before. But his chakra, I can still sense his chakra, it's completely different. It's fiercer, darker, yet there's still that protectiveness to it that he's always had. Can that really be Naruto? Ino thought to herself. Little did the Yamanaka heiress know, Naruto's chakra will have an interesting effect on her and many other women. Naruto broke both of Zaku's arms by applying a little pressure to them because of his newfound immense strength. It literally took nothing for the scarlet-haired Uzumaki to snap Zaku's arms like twigs. As for Zaku, he was screaming in excruciating pain. He's never felt so helpless against anyone in his life, the pain caused him to pass out while Naruto was still holding him up. Weak trash. Naruto scoffed as he carelessly tossed Zaku over towards Dosu with one hand. Zaku's body tumbled and skidded on the ground until he stopped beside Dosu. He dismantled Zaku without even trying. Still, does this mean we're safe? Dosu wondered internally. You're lucky I decided to not kill your whole team, your pathetic teammate got off easy, he's lucky I didn't do worse. I'm going to give you one option, drop your scroll and leave. Otherwise I'm going to change my mind on allowing you to live to see the next 5 minutes. Naruto voiced coldly while his expression remained neutral. His cold tone sent shivers down everyone's spine. Dosu gulped, knowing he had no choice if he wanted to survive. He nodded then took out their scroll. What's your name? We were sent here for Sasuke Uchiha, you weren't supposed to be a factor. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, however make no mistake, you will refer to me as everyone in the vicinity. Eyes widened as they all gaze in astonishment as Naruto out of nowhere sprouted feathery-like black dragon wings with red markings and a dragon tail. His inner tail was grey in color, appearing to be smooth in texture as well, the outer part had black scales with red markings covering it. The scales themselves disappear at the end of Naruto's tail, which in itself ends in a stinger-esque shape. All of the genin are truly perplexed as to how this is possible. You will refer to me as Acnologia. The Black Dragon of Apocalypse. I am the new Dragon King of this world and don't you ever forget it, you worthless insect. Naruto declared loudly while covering himself in his magic in the form of a purple aura. He flexed his magic power once, causing dust and wind to spread everywhere in the surrounding area. Those who got the message, nodding vigorously and fearfully in understanding. Very well, acnologia will be taking our leave now. He wanted to get away from Naruto as quick as possible, never has he ever feared a person as much as he fears Naruto. After picking up Zaku and Kin, Dosu walked away into the forest with his two unconscious team. Sakura shook her head, quickly getting over her shock of Naruto's new appendages. She wouldn't admit it out loud yet, but a huge part of her wanted to rub Naruto's wings and tail. Wait. Who in the world is Orochimaru? What did he do to Sasuke-kun? And why Sasuke-kun? These questions has been plaguing her mind for the last couple days ever since their encounter with Orochimaru. Dosu stopped walking, he turned his head enough to look at Sakura. I don't know, we were just given orders to target Sasuke, that's all I know. Sakura frowned, unsatisfied with the answer she received. The bandage-covered sound ninja looked away then continued to walk into the forest. Both Naruto and Sakura watched Dosu walk away while carrying his team. Naruto walked back to where Sakura was sitting, on the way he picked up the earth scroll Dosu left. Hey, you guys okay? Choji called out. It's a pain, but Ino, we'll leave Lee to you. Shikamaru said as he and Choji ran to check on the still unconscious Sasuke. Got it? Ino replied, running over to Lee. Neji and Tenten were still up on the tree branch, watching the entire scene play out. Aside from that foreign power he used, his chakra is abnormal to say the least, such extraordinary massive chakra levels. This Uzumaki Naruto or acnologia as he referred to himself was said to be the dead last of the latest graduating class if I remember correctly. If he's this good then there's a lot more to him that precedes his well-known reputation. Neji thought to himself. His gaze is on Naruto. Well, that's over with and we got an earth scroll out of it. Naruto smirked, he stopped walking once he got close enough to Sakura. Why yes, say Naruto, what exactly happened? You're still Naruto, right? You not only changed but called yourself a different name, who is acnologia? Sakura asked, looking up at her teammate. It's a long story that I'll explain later when it's just me, you and Sasuke. Too many unwanted ears are around to listen in. Just know that acnologia is a name I'm going to be using from now on, you guys can still call me Naruto though since I am still me after all. The Dragon Slayer chuckled a bit. Okay, can you at least tell me what you meant earlier when you said Orochimaru cut off your access to the Nine Tails chakra? What the heck is that about? Sakura questioned, she's not the only one who wanted to know either. It's no point in hiding it since it's not really that good of a kept secret anyways. Listen, to keep it short and simple, when the nine-tailed fox attacked Konoha almost 15 years ago, the fourth Hokage didn't kill it since humans can't kill Biju. It was a lie told by the older generation due to the Hokage ordering the truth to be declared as an S-rank secret. The truth is that the Yondaime Hokage, my father Minato Namikaze, sealed the nine tails inside of me to save Konoha. I don't care if none of you guys believe me or not, just think about this, I'm the only person in all of Konoha who had the same shade of blonde hair and blue eyes as the Yondaime Hokage. Ask your parents if you want, though they might lie to you due to my heritage being an S-rank secret as well. Naruto shrugged, he really didn't care about keeping his heritage or status as a secret. As the Dragon King and an Uzumaki he will not hide who he is out of fear of potential enemies. Anyone who wants to take him out is more than welcome to try, they have no idea of the power Naruto is capable of unleashing. He did make his 8 trigram seal that contains the 9 tails to show proof of his Jinchuriki status. Wait. You mean you're the son of the 4th Hokage? Sakura shouted as she was stunned to the core, everyone who heard Naruto's explanation was shocked. The gears in both Shikamaru and Sakura's mind began turning, realizing that Naruto before he changed did look a lot like Minato. I always thought it was weird how you had similar traits as the 4th Hokage, plus the way people around the village call you names like Demon, the Fox Kid, Monster or Kyuubi Brat, makes a whole lot of sense now. They blame you for the Kyuubi attacking our village, that's just stupid. Shikamaru shook his head. Yeah, I agree, Naruto clearly isn't a demon. Choji voiced in agreement. Seriously? People think you're a demon? That's ridiculous, you may be a loudmouth idiot, but you're not a demon. Ino spoke out, she couldn't believe that people treat Naruto badly for something he had no control over. It made her feel terrible for not noticing anything sooner, also making her reflect on the way she herself treated Naruto over the years in the academy. Right. Sakura told her teammate, she knew she thinks of Naruto as an annoying idiot at times, but that doesn't mean he's a demon. Recently she found herself being nicer to him, thinking of him as a teammate and a friend. You're certainly not a demon just because you have the 9 tails sealed inside of you. If anything, it makes you a hero of this village for protecting all of us for over a decade. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool. Naruto appreciated their words, he's grateful that none of them think negatively about him for his Jinchuriki status. Thanks, I'm glad you guys think that way, it shows you aren't as stupid as most of the villagers in Konoha. By the way, why are you guys here? I'm assuming you were helping Sakura. He asked Shikamaru. Troublesome, pretty much. Shikamaru nodded. Well, thanks for that. Another thing, Sakura-chan, what happened to your hair? Naruto wondered. Oh. I'm changing my image, yeah that's right. I like my long hair, but when I move around in a forest like this, it gets in the way if it's long. Sakura explained, not wanting to tell Naruto the real reason. Unknown to the Pinket, Naruto knew she wasn't telling the complete truth, though he figured he wouldn't press her about it. I get it, well just to let you know, you look cute either way to me. Naruto shrugged, it was the truth in his opinion. Sakura blushed, she looked away. Thanks Naruto. Ino watched on, noticing Sakura's blush. Is she blushing over Naruto? With the way he looks now I can't even blame her. Tenten jumped down off the branch and landed in front of Ino. I'll take care of him from her. She was referring to Lee. Ah okay. Ino allowed her to take Lee off of her shoulder. Once Tenten had a hold of Lee, she shook him vigorously while holding his shoulders. Get it together Lee. She dropped him to his knees. Ino's sweat dropped at the scene in front of her. Lee eventually came to, opening his eyes and seeing Tenten. Oh, Tenten, why are you here? I came to help. Tenten responded. Lee looked around. Huh? Those guys, where did the sound shinobi go? He asked, feeling confused. The guy named Naruto drove them away. The brunette answered. Really? He looked over towards Team 7, surprised to see how much Naruto has changed since he last saw him. Why did you hastily decide to act on your own? Besides, you got really beaten up. Tenten scolded Lee. Sakura was in danger. So is a man, Lee trailed. You kidding? If it were Lee alone, there's no way he would have lost to those guys. Tenten thought to herself, she glared at Lee before telling him. You're really stupid sometimes. Lee brought his knees closer to his chest, looking down. Can't argue with that. Boy. Bushy brows. Naruto walked over to Lee and Tenten. Lee and Tenten turned to see Naruto coming towards them. And Naruto-san. I heard your little conversation over here, so you helped out Sakura while me and Sasuke were out of it. I'm not going to ask how someone as strong as you lost to those sound weaklings. Instead I'm just going to pay off our debt to you. Naruto held out his left hand in front of Lee, his palm glowing green with healing magic. Lee was amazed when his body became covered in a green healing aura, he watched and felt all of his injuries, leaving him as if they were there in the first place. Even his stamina was returning to its full capacity. When he was fully healed, the healing aura faded away. Everyone in the clearing had been surprised to see Naruto being able to heal Lee. Sakura walked up next to Naruto. Since when could you heal people? She asked. Naruto turned his gaze over to the Pinket. Sakura-chan, there's a lot I can do now. I guess you could say around the same time I gained the ability to produce wings and a tail of a dragon. He touched her shoulder with his finger, surprising Sakura when Naruto started healing her too. She felt warm being engulfed in his healing magic. Once Sakura had been healed, she smiled at Naruto. Thank you Naruto. She then looked at Lee. And thank you Lee, because of you I was able to wake up. I feel like I've gotten a little stronger. Lee stared up at the pink-haired girl, his eyes tearing up. Sakura-san, it looks like my efforts weren't enough. He wiped away his tears, then looked back towards Naruto. Naruto-san, thank you for healing me. You were able to chase off that sound team, it's clear you're more than I expected you to be, you possess amazing strength. I was beaten to a pulp. Lee's facial expression became saddened. Naruto's eyes widened a bit. What? He was beaten to a pulp. What the hell is he talking about? This is the same guy who easily kicked Sasuke's ass just a few days ago. There's no way those 3 weak sound shinobi are strong enough to take this guy down. Something unexpected must have happened to Lee. Sakura. The lotus of the Konoha blooms twice. When we meet again, I will have become a stronger man. I pledge it. Lee vowed. Huh? Oh I'm okay. Sakura nodded, feeling confused on what is that supposed to mean. Hey Sakura. Come here. I'll fox your hair for you. Ino called out as she waved to the Pinket. Sakura nodded. Yeah that'd be great. She walked over to Ino. While Ino was fixing Sakura's hair with a kunai, she commented. Can we both agree that Naruto looks really hot the way he is now? Ino's voice was low. Never thought I would say this, but he's more attractive than Sasuke now. Heh guess this means I have 2 hot boys on my team now Ino pig, thinking back Naruto wasn't all that bad looking prior to his change anyways. I bet you're really jealous of me aren't you Ino pig? Sakura smirked victoriously at her rival. Shut up. You little billboard brow. Ino growled, knowing that Sakura was right. Neither Kunoichi did not know that Naruto could hear them talking thanks to his new enhanced hearing. It pleased him knowing they thought highly of his new looks. Neji still had been standing on the tree branch, the wind blew briefly while he was still staring at Naruto. The Uzumaki even looked in his direction and smirked at Neji one time before continuing to talk to Shikamaru and Choji. Naruto Uzumaki, at any rate, he's a strong opponent without a single doubt. Neji thought. The second Ino finished fixing Sakura's hair, Naruto spoke up. Alright, it's time we got out of here. He walked over to Sasuke, using his tail he picked up and wrapped it around the unconscious Uchiha. Noticing the curse mark on Sasuke, however, he decided to ignore it for now. Naruto then went over to Sakura, the pin cat yelped in surprise when Naruto suddenly started carrying her in his arms, bridal style. Sakura blushed profusely, she could literally feel his rock-solid abs against her. And Naruto. You be baka. What the hell do you think you're doing? She stammered. You'll see, just relax and trust me, Sakura-chan. The Dragon King smirked, causing the pin cat to blush even more. Looking back over towards Team 10 and Team Guy. Yeah, thanks again for helping our team, see you guys if you make it to the next phase of the exam. Naruto then jumped high into the air, then flapped his wings, flying with a screaming Sakura in his arms. So he really can fly with those wings, Shikamaru noted out loud. Dude, that's so cool. Choji voiced. Ino had her arms crossed. Sakura, you lucky little, she grumbled to herself in jealousy of the pin cat. Well, isn't this something? Naruto chuckled in amusement. Currently Team 7 was resting in another part of the Forest of Death, this time they were by a stream of water. Naruto and Sakura were watching over the still unconscious Sasuke, though the reason for Naruto's comment is because of what's happening with the raven-haired Uchiha. Little tendrils of purple chakra could be seen flowing out of Sasuke's body. Naruto immediately recognized who this purple chakra belonged to. Sakura looked on in worry of Sasuke, he seemed to be stirring in his sleep. Slowly but surely more chakra is leaking out of him. Another thing she noticed is his cursed seal pulsing every now and then. What's going on with him? This has to be because of that mark Orochimaru gave Sasuke-kun. Basically, from what I'm seeing as well as sensing, that seal on Sasuke's neck acts as a power boost that negatively influences the mind. I can sense Orochimaru's chakra and part of Orochimaru's consciousness within that seal. As we speak, the seal is feeding off Sasuke's chakra and replacing it with Orochimaru's own chakra. If I had to guess, Sasuke probably is about to go into the first level of the seal, now that it's fully active. Naruto explained. Sakura turned to stare at Naruto with a stunned expression. How do you know all of that? I know a lot about seals now, I'm leaving it at that. Naruto left no room for discussion. Sakura accepted his answer, she understood that Naruto is different personality-wise. He's far from the same idiot he was a few days ago. Alright, so what do we do about Sasuke-kun when he wakes up? Because I'm pretty sure he's about to wake up real soon. You just let me handle it. If he wanted to, Naruto could have sealed off or even removed Sasuke's cursed seal anytime he wanted to. With his newfound knowledge of Fuinjutsu thanks to Ashura and his mother's memories, he understood Fuinjutsu to the highest of degrees. Understanding Orochimaru's seal was child's play to him, all it took was a simple glance to understand all of the intricacies of the cursed seal. Naruto didn't even explain to Sakura everything he knew about it. Anyways, the reason why he hasn't taken care of Sasuke's curse mark yet is because he's curious as to how powerful the mark will make Sasuke. When it came to the 5 elemental seal Orochimaru placed on him to fuck up his chakra, Naruto literally used his magic to burn that seal off of his 8 trigram seal. Now he no longer had anything restricting his access to his chakra or the Kyuubi's chakra. Eventually Sasuke's whole body became engulfed in purple chakra, a moment later the Uchiha is on his feet, with the curse mark spreading across his body. Naruto and Sakura watched Sasuke checking himself over, then Sasuke looked up to see his teammate standing several feet away from him. He was very surprised and confused about Naruto's new appearance, though that didn't matter as much as the power he feels coursing through his veins. Sakura, Naruto, Sasuke voiced. Sasuke-kun? Are you alright? Sakura asked, concerned about his well-being. I feel better than alright, I feel amazing. This power, yes, this power is the cause of my new strength. Even now I can feel more chakra building inside of me, making me stronger. Sasuke formed a dark smirk. Naruto sighed, he sensed that Sasuke's chakra levels increased by 10 times, which isn't bad, but to the Dragon King, it's pitiful at best. It annoys him that he wasted his time only for Sasuke to have gained a weak power-up in the end. Naruto decided to let Sasuke know about the cursed seal before the Uchiha gets ahead of himself by getting too attached to Orochimaru's chakra. Sasuke, well, you continue lusting over that hickey of yours, there's something you need to know about it that I'm sure will make you not want that chakra you're using. Naruto told his teammate. Sasuke glanced then glared at Naruto. What do you mean, explain? He demanded. Naruto rolled his eyes at Sasuke's demand, he decided to let it go this time, since Sasuke's mind is being influenced by Orochimaru's chakra. Tone down the hostility in your voice, I won't tell you again. Listen, that hickey you have is affecting your mind in a negative way. Not only that, aside from Orochimaru's chakra it also contains part of his consciousness inside of it. Meaning you essentially have Orochimaru himself inside of your body. This news caused Sasuke's whole body to freeze, eyes wide in pure shock. In fact he was so caught off guard that he unconsciously forced his cursed seal of heaven to recede completely. His facial expression was filled with absolute shock. What did you just say? Sasuke questioned. I think you heard me the first time, but I guess I'll say it again for you. Inside of your body is basically Orochimaru. Naruto repeated, highly amused by the myriad of emotions showing in Sasuke's eyes. Sasuke became horrified and disgusted, coming to the conclusion that Orochimaru truly wants his body for something sick. Luckily Naruto said something to prevent Sasuke from continuing to freak himself out. I can get rid of your hickey if you want me to. The Scarlet Redeed offered. How? What the hell happened to you anyways, Naruto? You look completely different from the time we fought Orochimaru. Sasuke wondered. All you need to know is that my new look is the result of me awakening a power I was born with. It's way too long of a story to give you the full rundown. Plus, does it really matter what happened to me? No, it doesn't. This conversation is about you and your problems, not me. And as for how? Easy, like this. Naruto smirked. Sasuke's eyes widened when out of nowhere Naruto was suddenly standing next to him. Neither he nor Sakura saw Naruto move at all, it scared the hell out of them. Naruto paid them no mind, he placed his index finger on Sasuke's cursed seal, then transferred a minuscule amount of his magic directly into it. Without Sasuke feeling anything but a warm sensation on his neck, Naruto burned every single speck of Orochimaru's chakra and consciousness within the seal. After a few more seconds, Naruto removed his finger from Sasuke's neck, showing the cursed seal of heaven is no longer on Sasuke. Sakura gasped. Whoa, it's really off. Naruto actually got rid of it. Sasuke blinked when a mirror suddenly popped into existence right in front of him. Looking in the mirror, he saw that Sakura was right. The mark is gone from his neck, much to his relief. Thanks, loser. Sasuke smirked towards Naruto, the mirror had disappeared courtesy of said dragon slayer. Whatever, you bastard, instead of thanking me let's talk about our next move now that you're up. Naruto said with a smirk of his own. Scene change. Team 7 now could be seen sitting in front of a fire Naruto made for them, eating cooked fish that he and Sasuke caught out of the stream. While they were eating, the team is also talking about their next move. Wait, you got both scrolls? Sasuke and Sakura said at the same time to Naruto, who had just told them as well as showed them he's in possession of the Earth and Heaven scrolls. The Dragon King is holding the scrolls between his fingers on his right hand. Yep. Naruto smirked. But how? When? You were with me the whole time so you couldn't have left, otherwise I would have noticed. Sakura questioned in confusion. Not necessarily, I have plenty of ways I could have left without you ever noticing my absence. As for how and when. I made a shadow clone when you weren't paying attention, Sakura. My clone went to retrieve a heaven scroll and brought it to me a few hours before Sasuke woke up. Naruto explained. Good thinking, Naruto. Now we can head for the tower instead of worrying about obtaining a second scroll. Sakura praised her teammate for thinking ahead, Naruto has really been coming through for them ever since he's changed. I have to agree, you saved us a lot of time and effort, Naruto. Sasuke commented, taking another bite out of his cooked fish. Naruto nodded. Speaking of time, 4 days have already passed since the second exam started. The second exam started around 3 in the afternoon. Meaning we only have about 24 or 25 hours left to make it to the tower. It's highly likely that some teams have already passed. Sasuke said, realizing what Naruto is getting at. Yeah, but that's plenty of time for us to get to the tower, right? Sakura voiced. Definitely, it's just pathetic that we had to waste so much time in this damn forest. All because of that damn snake Orochimaru. Not only did he get in our way. He had the audacity to send that weak-ass sound team after us. Naruto was still annoyed about that, maybe he should have just killed them after all. Right, didn't you guys say they were targeting me specifically? Sasuke asked, in his opinion the sound team didn't look like much when he first saw them. Apparently, if you ask me Orochimaru was sending them to their deaths. Naruto shrugged. Sakura looked at Naruto. Why do you say that? Think about it, why the fuck would Orochimaru give an order to target Sasuke to such a pathetic team, knowing he himself had intentions of marking Sasuke? We know those sound genin knew nothing about Orochimaru's plans involving Sasuke, meaning Orochimaru purposely chose to leave those fools ignorant when he knew he was going to get to Sasuke first before they did. Seriously, that damn snake marked Sasuke with a seal that amps his chakra levels 10 times. It would have made a hell of a lot more sense for Orochimaru to have sent a stronger team after Sasuke when he knew he planned on giving Sasuke a power boost. But clearly he didn't, likely the snake probably assumed that Sasuke would kill those 3 weaklings under the influence of that hiki he left on Sasuke. Naruto explained. Sasuke grew angry that Naruto kept calling the cursed seal a hiki. Stop calling it a hiki. The Dragon King narrowed his eyes, gazing at Sasuke. Or what? What the hell are you going to do about it if I don't? Fight me? Don't make me laugh at ya, you can try, but you and I both know it won't amount to anything. Sasuke, you need to understand something, just because we are teammates doesn't mean I won't hesitate to kill you if you try me, you pathetic insect. He growled while unleashing a little of his killing intent upon Sasuke. Earlier he already allowed Sasuke to get away with disrespecting him once because Sasuke was being influenced negatively from the cursed seal. In Naruto's opinion, that was already one time too many. Sasuke broke out into a cold sweat and started shaking in fear. This killing intent not even Orochimaru's felt anywhere near this strong. How the hell? He thought to himself in fear. Naruto. Don't threaten Sasuke-kun like that. Sakura yelled. Yeah, she should have kept her mouth shut because now she has Naruto's killing intent focusing on her ass too. Sakura flinched when Naruto turned his piercing stare towards her direction. Are you going to make me stop, Sakura? No. Then shut the fuck up. Unless you want to face the same threat I just gave your little crush Sasuke. Sakura wisely chose to do as she was told, never would she have thought Naruto could be so harsh to her. Further proving that he's a completely different Naruto. Naruto stopped releasing his killing intent much to his teammates' relief. By the way, we're being watched. He said nonchalantly. Wait, what? Sasuke replied in confusion. Prior to Sasuke waking up, Naruto had been using one of his new sensory abilities he awakened called the Mind's Eye of the Kagura Shingen. It's one of the powerful abilities that he inherited from his mother that for some odd reason remained dormant. Obviously his transformation is the cause for all of his dormant abilities to become active, though Naruto figured he eventually would have awoken his Mind's Eye of the Kagura at least at some point in the future. Regardless, he used this ability to see a clear visual of the chakras of every person within the Forest of Death. The range of this ability isn't limited to Konoha by any means. Naruto discovered he can force the range of his sensing capabilities far past the entire country itself if he wanted to. Then that's not even mentioning his enhanced sense of smell he's provided as a dragon slayer. This whole time the Dragon King has been keeping track of the chakra and scent of every participant of the exams. He knew Kabuto was spying on them from a distance real close by, other than him there was one Omegakure genin spying on them further away from above in the trees. Naruto hadn't called them out yet since he saw no need to, they weren't a threat to him anyways. He planned on dealing with Kabuto and the AIM genin if they decided to make themselves known. The reason Naruto is just now informing Sasuke and Sakura about this involves Kabuto. Do I really need to repeat myself? I said we are being watched. Naruto repeated himself, narrowing his eyes. How can you tell, Naruto? Sakura asked. I have my ways. The new black dragon of Apocalypse turned his attention to where the AIM genin is located. Oi, you worthless trash from Omegakure, if you don't leave in the next 2 seconds, you won't live long enough to see the next 5. His voice was laced with his power. Oboro, the genin from AIM who had been spying on Team 7, immediately shook in pure fear of Naruto. He wanted absolutely nothing to do with the scarlet-haired Uzumaki. Oboro left the area as fast as he could. Praying to whatever god out there that he never comes into contact with Naruto again in his life. HMPH, that's what I figured he would do. Naruto then stood up and called out Kabuto. You might as well come out, Kabuto, I know you've been spying on us for a while now. From his hiding spot, Kabuto was shocked, clearly not expecting to be noticed. Still, knowing he had been caught, he came out from where he had been hiding. Sasuke and Sasuke stood to their feet, shocked that Kabuto's here. Both were still shocked how Naruto knew while they never suspected a thing. Sasuke did place his hand on his kunai holder, just in case Kabuto tries something. Well, it seems I've been caught red-handed, it's been a while, hasn't it you three? Kabuto said. Hi Kabuto-san, why are you here? Sakura asked, a bit cautious of the ash-gray-haired genin. Especially after seeing that he's been spying on her and her teammates. I'm not after your scrolls if that's what you guys are thinking, I already have both scrolls myself, see. Kabuto showed his own Earth and Heaven scrolls to Team 7. Things led to things. I was hurrying over to the vicinity of the tower to wait for my estranged companions. That still doesn't explain why you were spying on us. Sasuke replied with narrowed eyes. I was getting to that when I came across you guys while traveling. I wanted to see if you had both of your scrolls, if not I had a way of helping you obtain the second scroll you would need. I was going to suggest coming with me to the tower to set up an ambush so you guys could take the scroll you would need from an enemy team heading to the tower. However, I see the suggestion is unnecessary seeing that you already have both scrolls. Which is why I instead decided I was going to ask you guys to travel together with me to the tower. Other teams who haven't gotten both scrolls are going to be plotting the same ambush I just mentioned. Although that's not all, you guys don't know this, but there are collectors who are certain to appear during a test of this nature. Kabuto explained in detail. Inwardly he was extremely curious about the drastic change to Naruto's appearance and chakra. Making a mental note to mention it to Orochimaru later on. Collectors? Sakura repeated in confusion. Kabuto nodded. In this test, with the tower just a stone's throw away, you definitely can't rest easily. Those particular conditions are what create them, in other words those who gather extra scrolls as compensation for sparing them when coming across an unexpected enemy. Also, those who get information to proceed favorably through later exams by providing lacking scrolls to comrades of the same village. Then there are those who are thinking of, under conditions favorable to them, annihilating the powerful ones who will probably get through the third test. It goes without saying, but these guys are quite strong and the worst enemies who are definitely not conceited. I see. Understanding your reasoning, it makes sense why you were spying on us. You wanted to see if our team was competent enough for you to work with before you made yourself known to us. You're scared of being ambushed because you're traveling to the tower alone, right? Sasuke questioned. That's right. Kabuto answered. As for Naruto, yeah, he didn't buy a word coming out of Kabuto's mouth. When he was watching his own memories, Naruto became suspicious of Kabuto when noticed a couple things that didn't add up. The main red flag Naruto had been thinking about ever since Kabuto started spying on them is his scent. In his memories, Naruto noticed how Kabuto's scent carries a scent of snakes, blood and disinfectant all in one. At first he didn't think too much of it considering the proctor of the second exams, Anko Midarashi's scent also smells like snakes. However, the moment Naruto picked up Kabuto's scent heading towards his team's location, he kept thinking more about Kabuto and his scent. What resulted in Naruto changing his mind about leaving Kabuto alone unless Kabuto had chosen to make himself known is the conclusion he came to. The reason why Kabuto's scent caused a huge red flag with Naruto is because of how similar it is to Orochimaru's scent. Anko may have a snake scent, but it's completely different from Kabuto and Orochimaru's snake scents. Honestly, Naruto is disappointed that it took him this long to make the connection. The only way for Kabuto's scent of snakes to be this similar to Orochimaru's is if the two of them had been around each other for a long period of time. Well, Naruto, Sasuke-kun, what should we do? Should we travel together with Kabuto-san? Sakura asked her two teammates. I don't see why not, teaming up will be beneficial to all of us. Sasuke said. When Sasuke and Sakura turned to Naruto for his opinion, seeing Naruto's facial expression made it clear to them that something else was up. Well, Naruto-kun, what's your answer? Kabuto pushed up his glasses, smirking slightly. Naruto's answer to Kabuto was appearing right in front of the gray-haired shinobi at speeds neither his teammates or Kabuto could perceive. Next, the Uzumaki grasped Kabuto's neck like a vice grip using his hand. Applying just enough pressure to cause Kabuto pain without fully breaking his neck. The last thing Kabuto expected to happen to him is getting choked, more than he didn't even see Naruto take a step. Why is Naruto doing this? Did he suspect Kabuto of something? He tried to break out of the chokehold, yet even using his actual true strength all it did was make Naruto tighten the grip he has on Kabuto's neck. Forcing the ash-gray-haired shinobi to have trouble breathing properly. Telepathic magic. Naruto said in his thoughts, this magic allows him to read the mind and memories of whoever he chooses by making physical contact with them. As of now he's reading all of Kabuto's memories, it only took him around 10 seconds to finish. When Naruto did finish, he let out a dark chuckle, then smirked darkly at a frightened Kabuto. Said shinobi had no idea that Naruto just saw all of his memories within mere seconds. You may be able to trick Sakura and Sasuke into believing you, but I didn't buy that bullshit story of yours for a second. I was already suspicious of you before, there's no way Genin can have access to the type of information you have on those ninja info cards of yours. Especially information on foreign shinobi from other villages, how would you have access to all of that without being a spy? I can sense you have Jounin level chakra reserves, the same amount Kakashi has. Then there's your scent, it reeks of snakes and blood. There's only one person I know who shares a scent that is this similar to yours, and that's Orochimaru. Well, I guess it's a good thing your memories did confirm to me that you are a spy, Orochimaru's spy to be exact. Naruto tightened his grip on Kabuto's neck more. As for Kabuto, his eyes widened in shock. If what Naruto says is true, then all of Orochimaru's plans may be in jeopardy of failing. Sakura and Sasuke were stunned hearing what Naruto had revealed, Kabuto is a spy for Orochimaru. Seriously? How? Kabuto struggled to speak, it was becoming harder to breathe. How? Naruto echoed. He did USSC me memories, Kabuto did his best to say. The Dragon King scoffed. As if I would waste my time explaining anything about myself to insignificant trash like you. Using his free hand, Naruto literally thrusted it through Kabuto's chest, then ripped out his heart. Sasuke and Sakura gasped in shock and horror, both staring at Kabuto's still beating heart and Naruto's bloody hand with wide eyes. The gruesomeness of the act caused both genin to fall on their knees and vomit everything in their stomachs. Poor Kabuto, he never even got a chance to defend himself. Crushing the heart in his hand, Naruto watched Kabuto pass on to the afterlife. Using fire magic, he summoned blue flames to burn Kabuto's corpse to ashes. Good riddance. Naruto said as he turned around to look at his teammates. He frowned when he saw how shaken up they were. Honestly, the scarlet-haired Uzumaki can smell and sense their fear coming off of them. Hell, he could practically taste it in the damn air at this point. Then Naruto, I know you said Kabuto was a spy, but did you really have to kill him? Sasuke stammered, it's not that he's new to death or anything. However, seeing such a brutal killing got to him, not even Itachi was that brutal in massacring their clan. The Genjutsu showing the Uchiha clan being killed off that Itachi had placed a young Sasuke under is something Sasuke will never forget. Ever. Why was it really unnecessary, Naruto? Sakura stuttered in fear, this is the first time in her life she actually saw a person be killed. She knows killing comes with being a kunoichi, it's the fact she wasn't ready to see it done in such a violent manner. No, I didn't have to kill him. Naruto answered truthfully. Although, weak insects like him are better off dead than alive. He shrugged. You said his memories confirmed to you that he was Orochimaru's spy, what did you mean by that? Sasuke asked. All you two need to know is that I used an ability of mine to confirm Kabuto's status as Orochimaru's spy. Kabuto's original intentions were to spy on our team, or more specifically you, Sasuke, for information to report back to Orochimaru. Also, don't even start trying to guess what I did because I'm telling you neither of you will come close to figuring out the correct answer. So drop it. Naruto left no room for discussion. Sakura and Sasuke nodded in acceptance, one thing became very apparent to them. Naruto truly will not hesitate to kill, it made them understand that his threat to them from earlier is a very real threat. Still, as odd and crazy as it may sound, Sasuke and Sakura really felt that they can trust and rely on this new Naruto a lot more than the old Naruto. Sasuke walked over to pick up the earth and heaven scrolls Kabuto dropped. We should head to the tower now. He said. You're right, Sasuke, we wasted enough time as it is. Naruto replied, he didn't feel like revealing anything else at the moment. Otherwise he would teleport him and his team to the tower. Sakura nodded. Right, I'm ready if you guys are. Team 7 all took off high into the trees, making their way to the tower. Central Tower. Team 7 had arrived at the tower with at least several hours to spare. Surprisingly, they did not run into any enemy teams on the way here. Currently the three genin were inside the tower itself in some kind of large room with various signs on the walls. Sakura is reading off one of the messages. If heaven does not exist, enrich your knowledge and prepare for the chance. If earth does not exist, run the fields in search of an advantage. Open the series of heaven and earth and the perilous way shall be redressed. This is namely the secret of the one that guide. She finished reading. Unnecessary riddles. The Dragon King commented with a frown. I agree. Sasuke nodded. It probably has to do with the scrolls. I think this means we're supposed to open the heaven and earth scrolls. Sakura said to her teammates. No offense, but that much is obvious, Sakura. Naruto rolled his eyes. Don't be an ass, Naruto. I'm just offering my opinion. Sakura retorted with her arms crossed. And I was offering my opinion on your point. Naruto smirked. Naruto. Sakura growled in anger. Naruto chuckled. You're even cuter when you're angry, Sakura, right, Sasuke? Sakura blushed profusely, did he really just say that? Shut the hell up. She spluttered. Leave me out of this, which set of scrolls are we opening? Sasuke asked. Doesn't matter, here, take this one, Sakura. Naruto handed her the scroll in his right hand. Alright. Sakura nodded as she took the scroll from his hand. Peeling open the scroll at the same time, Naruto and Sakura unraveled the scrolls only a bit. Team 7 saw both scrolls had identical sealing formulas written inside. A formula Naruto immediately recognized at first glance. Huh? What is this exactly? Sakura wondered out loud, looking at the scroll in confusion. Naruto answered. It's a sealing formula of the Kuchius no Jutsu, this one in particular is meant to summon a person to us through the scrolls once they're opened. Sakura, we're tossing the scrolls. As soon as he finished saying that, smoke began to come out of the scrolls. Okay. She and Naruto threw the scrolls, the second they hit the ground, more smoke exploded out of the heaven and earth scrolls. Before the silhouette of the person summoned had been revealed in the cloud of smoke, Naruto instantly recognized the chakra and scent of the person. A smirk formed on his face. With most of the smoke gone, Team 7 was surprised to see Iruka of all people here. Iruka's eyes were closed when he first spoke. Yo, it's been a long time. When he did open his eyes, he widened them in pure shock, seeing someone he didn't recognize with Sasuke and Sakura. He narrowed them, asking. "Who are you?" Naruto chuckled a bit darkly, putting Iruka more on edge. "You really don't recognize me, Iruka-sensei. I thought our relationship was better than that." "Can you blame him? You've changed pretty drastically since the last time he most likely saw you, Naruto," Sasuke said. Iruka froze hearing what Sasuke uttered. "Wait. Hold on. Why, you're Naruto." He pointed at the scarlet-haired dragon slayer. "The one and only, it's good to see you again, Iruka-sensei. Before you start asking what happened to me, let's just say I went through a massive transformation for the better and leave it at that for now. I'll tell you more about it another time," Naruto said. After staring in shock for a little longer, Iruka let out a long sigh while shaking his head. "Naruto, just what the hell did you get yourself into this time?" "You have no idea." Naruto smirked darkly. Iruka-sensei, what's going on exactly?" Sakura asked the Chunin. Looking them over, Iruka saw that Team 7 were in a lot better condition than he expected them to be in. "Well, it appears you guys didn't have too much of a tough time." He grinned softly. "Why are you appearing using a summoning?" Sasuke questioned. "At the end of the second test, we Chunin are to welcome the test takers. I just happened to be given the important task of being the messenger for you guys," Iruka explained. "Messenger?" Sakura echoed. Taking out a pocket watch, Iruka checked the time. With hours to spare too. He closed his watch to look back at Team 7 with a smile. "Everyone, congratulations on surviving the second test. To celebrate your passing, I'd like to treat you to some Ichiraku ramen," but he trailed off. "I don't know about these two, but you can definitely treat me to some Ichirakus at a later time, Iruka-sensei," Naruto told the man while smirking. Iruka shook his head though he did grin. "Sure Naruto, at least that part of you didn't change." "I see, if we had looked at the scroll in the middle of the test, what were you going to do, Iruka-sensei?" Sasuke voiced. "Sasuke, you're a sharp one, as usual." Iruka walked over to pick up one of the scrolls, he held it up to show the three genin. "You guessed right, the purpose of these rules were to test your conclusive mission execution ability. To put simply, if contrary to the rules, the scrolls were opened." Naruto cut him off. "You were ordered to knock out the dumbasses who opened the scrolls until the end of the exam, am I right, sensei?" Iruka blinked several times in surprise, not expecting Naruto of all people to catch on so fast. "Alright, how did you?" The scarlet-haired Uzumaki scoffed. "It's not hard to figure out that there's more than one purpose to putting sealing formulas for a summoning on each scroll. Otherwise, it would be easier to just have one or two Chunin at the entrance of this tower to greet the genin teams that make it here and inform them on whether they passed or not." Very good, Naruto." Iruka nodded in approval. "Oh yeah, by the way, sensei, what are the letters on the wall? They're kind of vermiculated and we don't understand their meaning at all," Sakura asked the Chunin. Instead of Iruka answering, Naruto did. "Sakura, listen, cause I'm only saying this once. In that text, heaven refers to the human mind, earth refers to the human body. All that unnecessary riddle is saying if your mind is your weakness, then improve it by learning more about logic and reasoning to prepare yourself, like preparation for a mission, for example. If your weakness is your body's lack of physical strength, then don't slack off in your daily training. All this shit is really saying is that the better you prepare yourself, the more likely you are to have a successful mission. As for that spot with the missing letter, don't know, don't care." Naruto shrugged. "I thought you didn't understand what the text meant." Sasuke looked at his teammate. "When did I ever say that? Just because I called it unnecessary riddles doesn't mean I didn't understand the meaning behind the text," Naruto replied. "Then why didn't you tell me and Sakura the meaning if you understood it?" Sasuke raised an eyebrow. "Neither one of you asked, you just assumed. It's not my fault you two didn't think about asking me exactly if I understood the text." Naruto responded with another shrug at the end. Sasuke conceded, Naruto was right, Sasuke at least knows he did not consider asking Naruto if he knew. "You're right. Anyways, thanks for the explanation, Naruto. Iruka-sensei, do you know about the spot with the missing letter?" Sakura questioned. Iruka was stunned, Naruto actually understood the meaning of the text. What the hell happened to him? Since when did he get this knowledgeable? Yeah. Iruka fake coughed a couple times before answering Sakura's question properly. "The letter refers to Chunin. The one letter for person that was in the scroll from earlier goes there. These 5 days of survival were to test the test taker's fundamental abilities as a Chunin, you three cleared it in fine style. Chunin is a unit leader rank, they have the responsibility of leading a team. Be more deeply aware of the necessity of knowledge and physical strength in missions. I want you to take on the next step, never forgetting these Chunin instructions that Hokage-sama recorded himself. And that completes my task as a messenger." Sakura and Sasuke nodded, Naruto truthfully could care any less about the rank of Chunin or any other rankings for that matter. Titles mean absolutely nothing without actual real power in his opinion. He's proud of the titles he has inherited from acnologia because his titles were actually given due to his unmatched power. Naruto did notice Iruka staring at him with worry in his eyes. It actually pissed him off since he saw it as Iruka, believing that Naruto is still an overall weakling. Iruka spoke up again. But, as for the final third test, don't push it too far, especially you, Naruto. You're the biggest worry. Iruka-sensei, well, I appreciate the concern, you can keep it cause it's unneeded. Remember, the moment I received my headband is when I stopped being an academy student. Also, there's something you need to understand, I'm not the same dumb, loudmouth weakling brat you used to chase around the village for skipping your class. Hell, I don't even look the same. I respect you, Iruka-sensei, I really do, but I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a shinobi and it's pissing me off that you're thinking of me as if I'm weak. I'm only going to say this one, sensei, if you don't stop looking at and thinking of me like that, then I'll have no problem giving you a demonstration of my power by kicking your ass. Naruto growled as he shrouded himself in a purple and black magical aura. He brought out his dragon wings and tail as well, eyes narrowed. Iruka was shocked seeing Naruto sprout 2 extra appendages, the aura is new to him too. He didn't believe this had anything to do with the Kyuubi, since the energy around Naruto doesn't feel or seem like chakra at all. Wait. Now that he's thinking about it, this energy does feel and look very similar to the pillar of power that shot into the sky the other day. See, could it have been Naruto who caused that to happen? Is that what turned him into what he is now? Well, aside from him just threatening me, this new him isn't necessarily a bad thing. I gotta admit he looks more physically fit and he does seem smarter. Maybe I am worrying about him too much, like he said he's not the same Naruto. Iruka thought to himself. At least Naruto didn't threaten to kill him. Sakura thought as she watched Naruto's power flow off of him. Since when the hell did he get wings and a tail? And this power, what is it exactly? Is this what he meant by his change was caused by awakening a power he was born with? I wonder, depending on how powerful Naruto has become, could he help me against Itachi? Sasuke wondered to himself. I see, I'm sorry Naruto. Iruka apologized. The one who truly understands the strength in these kids might just be you, Kakashi. Naruto stopped releasing his aura, he made his wings recede back into him, though he kept his tail out. HMPH, just make sure it doesn't happen again, Iruka-sensei, apology accepted. The Dragon King smirked at the Chunin. So what do we do now that you said we passed? Sakura questioned. Well, there's still at least 8 hours until the second exam is officially over. There's a set of rooms available where you 3 rest and clean yourselves, there's also a cafeteria you guys can go to. I believe a couple teams are in there now as we speak. Follow me and I'll give you a quick tour. Iruka said. Scene change. Naruto is walking down a random hall alone, Sasuke was in the room their team is resting in while Sakura is at the cafeteria. He's actually going over all of Kabuto's memories that he saw. That pathetic fool may have been a weak spy, however all the information I got from his memories is quite valuable to say the least. Looks like I was right about Orochimaru and his intention with the Sound Team. Even if Sasuke didn't kill them, Orochimaru planned on doing so before this little invasion of his takes place. Maybe I should have just killed them myself back then in the forest, not like they were going to live long anyways. Although that girl named Kin, she's cute, even though she's weak, she's cute enough for me to not want her to die a pointless death. I know, I'll convince her to serve me rather than Orochimaru. It shouldn't be too hard of a choice if she values her life. Then there is that Taiya chick who serves as one of Orochimaru's elite bodyguards. Gurin is pretty sexy too. Fuck it, I'll just let it all come to me naturally. After all, my draconic aura is bound to attract plenty of women to me. For now I'll focus on getting Kin to agree to join me. As for the invasion, well, I could go give the information I know to the higher-ups to warn them. I don't really see a need to. Naruto thought to himself while walking. One result of not only merging with acnologia, but going through 4 different sets of memories is Naruto's new opinion of the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. The Uzumaki used to think of a man as somewhat of a surrogate grandfather, however after learning everything he now knows, plus deeply thinking through everything, Naruto honestly is really contemplating on killing Hiruzen before Orochimaru gets his shot at it. The damn old fool knows who my parents are, he knows that not only am I the clan heir of the Uzumaki clan. I'm a fucking prince. The prince of Yuzu no Kuni due to my mother being the queen and former princess. Literally I have fucking royalty in my blood. Yet that old bastard allowed those villagers to abuse me, he allowed them to mistreat me for years when he could have prevented it. He's the damn Hokage, his word is law. Yet I still had to suffer, I had to be homeless for over a year before he finally decided to do something about it. There's absolutely no way a child of a cage should have had to endure such conditions. With the damn crystal ball of his, there's no way in hell he didn't know about my situation around that period of time. The old bastard allowed me to stay homeless on purpose. I could have been living in my parents' home or the Uzumaki compound, yet he forces me to live in a shitty apartment in the red light district on an orphan stipend. Then he had the absolute nerve with a damn smile on his face to repeatedly tell me to forgive the villagers, saying how they'll eventually realize their actions are wrong. How I just have to keep trying to prove them wrong, while the villagers hardly get punished for their actions against me. All that decrepit old fool had been doing is manipulating me. Probably because of my Jinchuriki status. Naruto said to himself mentally. Feeling his anger rising the more he thinks about this topic. Regardless, none of it matters anymore. In the end the old fool betrayed me, my parents and my clan. As long as the old man dies soon, that's good enough for me. The villagers can go to hell, I could just kill them all easily, but that won't do anything for me in the end. So it's pointless going that route, still as the Dragon King I will not accept any of their mistreatment or hatred. Like acnologia said, I'll rise above it and crush it with my very hands. As a matter of fact, maybe taking over Konoha is one way I can get payback. After all, it'd be amusing to witness all of the people who hate me be forced to acknowledge me as their leader. A dark chuckle escaped Naruto when he thought about that particular idea. He can smell Orochimaru's scent within the tower, for now he'll leave the snake Sannin alone. Maybe he'll get a good battle out of this future invasion. Doubtful, but at least it'll be a nice way to show off some of his power. His mind briefly drifted his thoughts on his supposed godfather Jiraiya and Kakashi, his father's student. Jiraiya I can't judge yet until I meet him and listen to his reasoning for not looking out for me. He's a Sannin, so it's highly possible he had to be out of the village for a long time on a long-term high-ranking mission. Kakashi on the other hand, he better hope his reasoning doesn't piss me off. Naruto said mentally to himself. Maybe I'll train myself a bit until the second exam is over. The scarlet-haired Uzumaki said out loud. I'm Skip, end of the second exam, battle arena. First off, congratulations on finishing the second exam. Anko voiced loudly to the remaining teams. There were 78 test takers for the second exam, to think 21 would have made it this far. I said to make it less than half, but I thought in terms of single digits. Anko thought, she gazed at the dragon slayer wearing a Konoha forehead protector around his arm. Wondering who the hell is he since she doesn't remember his face in the exams. She's not the only one thinking along those lines, everyone who didn't know about Naruto's new appearance is extremely confused as to who exactly is he. I'm hungry. Choji said, holding his stomach. There are still this many remaining. This is such a pain. Shikamaru complained while frowning. Ino smiled and looked over at Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke-kun, Naruto and the others have passed too. Of course we went through that much trouble to save them. It'd be all for nothing if they didn't pass. Shikamaru told her. Your team didn't do too bad. I guess they were lucky, but as long as my team is around they can't go any higher. After all, whether you like it or not, ability talks at the next barrier. Well, adolescence can sometimes be bittersweet and can sometimes be harsh, Kakashi. Mido Guy bragged to Kakashi, who was standing right next to him, with a confident smirk on his face. Kakashi looked at Guy with his usual expression. Huh, did you say something? Guy slapped his hands on his head in a comedic fashion. Oh my god. Then he turned away from Kakashi, gritting his teeth and tightening his already closed fist. Not bad, my youthful rival Kakashi. But that part of you is so hip, which is what annoys me. Guy thought his flames was covering his body in anger. Tenten watched her sensei interacting with Kakashi. So that's Kakashi, Guy sensei's eternal rival, eh? Guy sensei totally loses visually. Lee on the other hand. Guy sensei is the hippest of all the teachers. He shines. Right. Please watch, Guy sensei. I'll shine too. Fire raged in his eyes out of pure determination. Though he did briefly think back to his defeat at the hands of the Sound team. I don't ever want to see the tears of those who are dear to me again. So I won't ever lose again. Guy sensei. The bushy-browed genin hyped himself up mentally. Sure enough, the outstanding candidates have gathered. Neji checked out the competition, turning his gaze to Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, eh? Zaku was trying his best to glare holes into Naruto from a distance. I'll get you back for what you did to my arms, acnologia at any cost. Zaku swore to himself that he would get payback. Orochimaru, who was in disguise as a Oto Jounin, couldn't understand what could have happened to Kabuto. They were supposed to meet 2 hours before the second exam ended. Then there's Sasuke. His curse mark that I gifted him is gone. But how? No one in this village could possibly have the knowledge and skills required to remove the seal without either killing or gravely harming Sasuke. And who the hell is this guy with the long red hair and red body markings? He wasn't at the gate entrance of the Forest of Death, nor was I informed by Kabuto of anyone like him being in Konoha. Not to mention he has an extremely powerful presence. Well, his identity is bound to be revealed soon. The Snake Sannin thought. In order to substitute for the missing Kabuto, Orochimaru created a clone then disguised said clone as Kabuto to fill in the missing spot on Team Kabuto. This was so Yoroi and Miss Yumi could continue performing their roles Orochimaru gave them. I think a mere 7 teams are left of the 26 Tamari thought. Sure enough, Gaara is unhurt. Baki wasn't surprised in the slightest. Kurenai noticed Akamaru was troubled by something. Akamaru is acting strange. She also looked at Naruto who was standing next to Kiba. I have to admit, whoever he is, he's very attractive. Akamaru could be heard whining in a low tone. Kiba gritted his teeth. Those sand guys and who the hell is this guy next to me? Kiba wondered. Little did Kiba know, Gaara isn't the one Akamaru is currently afraid of. Where's Naruto-kun? I hope nothing bad happened to him. Hinata looked around, having no idea she's already looked at Naruto several times now. What? All the Konoha rookies are here. Sakura whispered. DCH, why do I feel like this is going to be a waste of my time? Naruto thought to himself. HMPH, I don't have a very good feeling, it's like everyone is assembled. Sasuke voiced with narrowed eyes. I think this many are left, moreover, of those left almost all are rookies. Hiruzen gazed over to the senseis of the rookies. So, that's why they fought in recommending them. He then looked over to the long red-haired shinobi he didn't recognize. That unknown energy from the other day, it seems this person is the source of it. He's a Konoha shinobi apparently, but I don't remember Konoha having a genin with his appearance. Then there's Naruto-kun, where could he be if his team is here? Is this unknown person involved with Naruto's absence somehow? Now then, we will now have the explanation of the third exam from Hokage-sama. Listen carefully, everybody. Anko told the test takers. She looked over to Hiruzen. Now then, Hokage-sama, if you will. Alright. Hiruzen stepped forward to greet the remaining teams. He cleared his throat before speaking. Before the explanation of the third test that we will start now, I have just one thing I want to tell everybody. About the true purpose of these tests. As Hiruzen was explaining, Naruto blatantly blocked out what he was saying. He honestly didn't care what Hiruzen had to say, plus he already knew about the true purposes of the Chunin exams. The last thing he wants to do right now is listen to Hiruzen's voice, it's annoying him. It's a custom where balance is preserved by fighting and removing life. This is the friendship of the shinobi world. This is the fight for life with the pride of the village and one's own dream on the line. Hiruzen finished his long explanation. Anything is fine. Just tell the content of that fight for life test. Gaara voiced out. Naruto nodded in agreement. Very well. Now then, this is where I'd like to explain the third exam. But actually Hiruzen trailed off. Everyone saw Hade appear before the Hokage with his head bowed down. Hokage-sama, please allow me, Gekko Hade, who was given the task of judge, to speak first. Hade asked. I'll leave it to you. Hiruzen replied. Nice to meet you everyone, Hade said as he stood up. He coughed once before turning around to look at the group of genin. There's something I'd like you all to do before the third test. Hade coughed again. And that is a preliminary to the third test with participation in the main battle on the line. Preliminary? Sakura echoed. Shikamaru spoke up. What do you mean preliminary? Sensei, I don't understand the point of that preliminary. Why aren't we doing the next exam with the remaining test takers? The Pincat questioned in confusion. This time around perhaps because the first and second exams were easy, there are too many people left, you see. In accordance with the rules of the Chunin exam, a preliminary will be held in order to reduce the number advancing. Hade answered. And no way. Sakura replied. As Hokage-sama said before, many guests will be coming to the third exam. So we can have long pointless matches and our time is limited as well. Therefore, those of you not in top physical condition. Hade started coughing again. Hey, is he okay? Ino wondered. The instructor doesn't look well himself, Hinata noted mentally. Hayate coughing fit stopped. Sorry about that, now those of you who wish to drop out, please speak now. The preliminary will begin immediately, so. Immediately, you say. Kiba responded loudly. But we finally just made it through the second test. Ino voiced. This is too troublesome, Shikamaru complained. What about our meal? Choji questioned out loud. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, but it will be individual battles from now on. It is your decision, so feel free to raise your hand and drop out. Hade informed the genin. Who's going to quit? Sasuke looked around. Kabuto raised his hand. He's supposed to be dead. Sasuke and Sakura thought in shock. They glanced at Naruto, surprised to see no reaction to Kabuto's appearance. They guessed that Naruto must know something about it already. Well, Hiruzen muttered. Everyone was looking at Kabuto, who had a grin on his face. Excuse me, I'll quit. Hade flipped through the papers on his clipboard. Kabuto Yakushi of Konoha, correct? Then you may step back. I've seen that face a few times. As I recall, I think he dropped out of the main battle before as well. What in the world is he thinking? Hiruzen wondered. Enko? Ibiki called out. Right, Kabuto Yakushi. According to the data, he has failed 6 straight times. Anko said. What about this background? Hiruzen asked. From his time in the academy, he was a student who did not really stand out and his grades were ordinary. He finally passed the graduation exam on his 3rd try. After that, as for the missions he carried out, 2 C ranks and 14 D ranks. It's not a battle record to write home about. However, Anko explained. However, Hiruzen waited for her to continue. It's about before the academy, do you remember the story about the one boy brought back from the Kikyu Pass battle? Anko asked. I remember. As I recall, an enemy boy survivor at the battlefield was taken back by a jounin from the medical unit. So he's that boy. Hiruzen spoke as Kabuto walked out the arena. Seeing that no one else is raising their hand, Hayate decided to begin the preliminary matches. Now then, we will begin the pre. Hold on 1 second Hayate, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's something that needs to be addressed before the preliminary matches start. Anko cut off Hayate while walking towards Naruto. Once she was in front of him, she asked a question a lot of people wanted to know. Who the fuck are you? I know for a fact you weren't present at the beginning of the 2nd exam. Naruto smirked. Well, it's about time someone acknowledged the elephant in the room. My name is Acnologia, also I actually was there at the gate entrance of the forest. My other name that you probably know me by is Naruto Uzumaki. This revelation shocked those who weren't aware of Naruto's new appearance. What could have happened to change Naruto so much? Is this really Naruto? And Naruto? Hiruzen stuttered in shock. This means that Naruto is the one who caused that eruption of power the other day. He knew that this would definitely cause an uproar with the council. More than that, he wasn't positive if he could still manipulate Naruto. Something deep inside of him was warning him he would regret it if he tried to manipulate Naruto again, especially with the way he is now. Hiruzen figured it's best to leave Naruto alone for now and talk to him sometime soon after the preliminaries are over with. Well, that pretty much confirmed it. I knew that had to be Naruto. No one I know has amethyst-colored eyes except Kushina-sama. Aside from his appearance, he seems very different from when I last saw him. It's probably nothing to be too worried about. I honestly doubt the Kyuubi has anything to do with his change, though you never know. I will say, the new look really suits him. I'm curious if he's gained any additional strength to go with this new appearance. Kakashi thought to himself. You mean he's that Naruto kid from Kakashi's team? Oh Hinata, I don't know if you can handle him the way he is now. Kurenai's eyes were wide in surprise. There's no way that's Naruto. I absolutely refuse to believe it. Kiba yelled inside of his head. Hinata could be seen blushing profusely, staring at her longtime crush. TTT, that's NN Naruto-kun. What happened to him? Regardless, I'm glad he's safe in here. Ara was gazing towards the scarlet-haired Uzumaki. That guy, is he the one who caused mother to start acting odd these past few days? Bullshit. There's no way you're the blonde Gaki. He was literally a midget and definitely not a sexy hunk like you. Anko jabbed her finger into Naruto's chest. Good to know you approve of the new me. By the way, Naruto leaned into her ear and whispered. I can help you with that little hickey on your neck for a price. Anko's eyes widened hearing his words. She stepped back to stare into his eyes to find any form of deceit in them. Imagine her surprise when found none at all. Could he really help her? She doesn't want to get her hopes up, but does it really hurt to give it a shot? It's not like she has anything to lose at this point. Fine, I believe who you say you are. But don't think our conversation is over. Me and you are going to continue this talk of ours soon. Acnologia. She gave him a smirk before walking back to the front. HMPH, me and her are going to get along real well. Naruto chuckled to himself. Sorry about that Hayate, I'd figured it would be best to get that out of the way before we got started. Anko said as she stood back in her original spot. Hayate shook his head. No, it's fine, you made the right call, Anko. He coughed again before turning his attention back to the remaining test takers. Now then, we will begin the preliminaries. The preliminaries to come will be 1-1-1 individual battles. In other words, actual battle format. There are now exactly 20 people, so we will conduct 10 battles. The winners will be able to advance to the 3rd exam. There are no rules at all. You will fight until someone dies, collapses or admits defeat. And please admit defeat right away if you don't want to die. However, in case I judge that a match is over. Another cough escaped him. I don't want to needlessly increase dead bodies, so I will intervene and stop the match or something to that effect. What holds the key to your destinies is Hayate, gave Anko a knowing look. Anko nodded, then turned to look at a certain spot on the wall. She spoke into her wireless radio. Open it. One of the covered wall platforms behind the hand seal statue lifted up to reveal a big monitor screen. The names of 2 foes will be randomly selected and displayed on this monitor screen. Now then, let's get right to it and announce the 2 names for the first battle. Hey told the group of genin. Everyone watched the screen lit up bright yellow for a second before names began shuffling. After several seconds 2 names were shown to be selected. Yoroi Akado vs Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke smirked. Didn't think it'd be this soon. He thought. HMPH, I couldn't ask for more. Yoroi thought. Sasuke-kun is first. Sakura was a little surprised. Now the two displayed on the screen, come forward. Hate voiced. Sasuke and Yoroi did as told, next they turned to face one another. For the first battle, Yoroi Akado and Sasuke Uchiha have been selected. No objections, right? Hade asked the two. No. Sasuke declared. Right. Yoroi said. Sasuke-kun don't lose. Sakura said mentally. This shouldn't take long. Naruto figured. Sasuke-kun he seems a bit different Ino said to herself. So I guess we'll get to see what our target is capable of Sasuke Uchiha. Dosu thought in a bit of interest. Sasuke-kun, do your best. Lee knew Sasuke was strong. The rookie of the year of the latest graduating class I guess I'll have to wait and see if he's strong like his teammate Neji concluded. Hold on he doesn't seem to be affected by the curse mark like Orochimaru-sama said he should be. As a matter of fact Yoroi realized that this might not be as easy as he assumed it was going to be. Now then, we will begin the first battle. Everyone other than the two fighters, please more to the upper area. Hade said. Mostly everyone began making their way up the stairs, Kakashi was walking towards his team. When he was about to walk past Sasuke, he stopped for a moment. Sasuke? Kakashi said. Yeah? Sasuke replied. What happened to the curse mark? Kakashi questioned. Sasuke's eyes went wide for a second in surprise. So you knew? I was informed about it by someone, I was a bit worried that it would affect you severely in the next stage of the exam. But it seems like there's nothing to worry about after all. So what happened? Kakashi asked. Ask Naruto, he's the one who took care of it for me. Sasuke answered his sensei. Now this bit of information actually did shock Kakashi, though he made sure not to show it. Naruto you say? Interesting, very well, good luck in your match. Kakashi walked away. While Kakashi had been walking towards Naruto and Sakura, Naruto spoke to Sasuke. Boy Sasuke, your opponent is nothing more than pathetic trash who will never amount to anything worthwhile in his lifetime. Don't waste more time than necessary dealing with him, and if you dare lose I'll personally make you regret doing so. Show this trash why the Uchiha clan are not meant to be trifled with in battle. Naruto growled out, his power carried in his voice. Sasuke's eyes widened, then narrowed in burning determination, he didn't realize it, however Naruto's words caused his Uchiha blood to boil fiercely. With his Sharingan activated, the Uchiha clan heir made direct eye contact with the Dragon King. Got it? Sasuke replied, his tone serious while smirking slightly. Naruto returned the smirk with his own, then turned around to make his way up to the upper level. Sakura and Kakashi followed him. Yoroi's ability was supposed to cause Sasuke-kun some trouble, however, now that Sasuke somehow has gotten rid of it, this match is an automatic loss for Yoroi. Also I wonder if my 5 elemental seal played a part in the Kyuubi brat's odd change. I don't understand how that would be possible, although the kid is in Uzumaki after all. He's without a doubt his mother's child. Orochimaru briefly thought back to the days where Kushina was his most prized student. Nowadays most people believe Anko was his best student, however that couldn't be any further from the truth. Kushina was a prodigy unlike no other, surprising Orochimaru many times with her growth and potential. Potential that far surpassed Minato Namikaze's in the Snake Sannin's honest opinion. Sometimes he can't help but wonder what Kushina's reaction would be to him leaving Konoha if she were still alive. Yep, Naruto definitely changed personality-wise. Kakashi sweat dropped. Naruto? Did you have to threaten Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked her teammate as they were walking up the stairs. No, but it got the results I wanted. Now Sasuke has no possible chance of losing his match because of how determined he currently is. Naruto answered her, now they were looking down from the upper area. So he had an actual purpose behind his actions. I guess that's one way to motivate your teammate Kakashi figured. Still don't act rashly, Sasuke. Everyone was waiting for the match to start. Now then, please begin. Hayate declared the start of the first match. Let's go. Yoroi formed a tiger hand seal. Alright. Sasuke got ready. Yoroi cloaked his right hand in chakra to perform his chakra absorption jutsu. Then he took out a few shuriken from his pouch and launched them at Sasuke. Sasuke pulled out a kunai to deflect each shuriken, Yoroi tried to speed blitz Sasuke, unfortunately for him the Uchiha was able to track his movements easily thanks to his Sharingan. No matter how many times Yoroi tried, he couldn't land a single swipe or even grab on Sasuke with his chakra-covered hand. He even tried to fake out Sasuke, as if Yoroi were going to kick him or goad Sasuke into attacking, to give an opening for Yoroi to strike. Yet all the Uchiha was doing was dodging his every attempt. This guy, he's purposely trying to keep our battle close combat for a reason. If I had to guess, it probably has to do with that right hand of his. It's covered in chakra and he keeps trying to attack me with that hand specifically. Sasuke thought before speaking out loud. You should try a different tactic, all you're swiping at is air. Yoroi grunted in frustration. You must think you're that good, huh, kid? I'll show you that you're nothing. He charged toward Sasuke. Sasuke smirked, a new move came to mind on how he wanted to end this match. That's where you're wrong, I don't think I'm that good. I know I'm that good. Once Yoroi was close enough, Sasuke swiftly avoided 4 more of his opponent's swipes, only to suddenly vanish from Yoroi's sight. He vanished. Yoroi shouted. Sasuke reappeared right below Yoroi and delivered an upwards kick to the jaw that sent Yoroi high into the air. Quickly changing his position, the Uchiha jumped, performing the dancing leaf shadow technique, cage beam, that he copied from Lee. Lee gasped in shock. That's my… What? Guy exclaimed in his thoughts. A few others also took note, including Kakashi and Sakura, who were also surprised. I'll admit I copied that move, but from here it's all original. Sasuke said to his opponent in midair, pressing 2 fingers into Yoroi's back. Cage beam. Yoroi voiced. Here we go. Sasuke smirked as he placed his palm on Yoroi's back to flip his body to the left. His left kick was blocked as he expected it to be. You're weak. You're no match for me. Yoroi bragged about blocking Sasuke's attack. Unfortunately, he spoke too soon. Yoroi became worried when Sasuke turned his body around midair to attack Yoroi from his right side. Who's no match for who? You're the weak one. Kakashi thought while watching the match. Sasuke landed a strong side punch to his opponent's chest, sending him downwards, then he punched his opponent again with his right fist, all the while flipping himself forward with his legs stretched out. I'm not finished yet. The Uchiha finished by striking Yoroi with a strong axe kick to the stomach. Shishiren. Lion's barrage. Poor Yoroi hit the ground hard, crying out in pain. Sasuke slid on his back against the ground before inevitably flipping onto his stomach, coming to a complete stop. He walked up to Yoroi, confirming that he is indeed unconscious. There's no need to check. He looked at Sasuke, who was pushing himself up to feet. I'm stopping the match from going any further. Therefore, the winner of the first battle, Uchiha Sasuke. He declared. Sasuke nodded, turning around and making his way to the upper area where his team is. He winced in pain a bit while holding his chest. Thanks for the inspiration on the new move, Lee, but it doesn't appear to be a technique I can use too much at my current level of strength. I have to get stronger. Those were his thoughts while walking up the stairs. I see. Back then he copied a part of the technique I only used once. That's your ability, Sasuke, you are quite the person. It's making me nervous with how rapidly you're growing. Lee thought. For a sequence of high-speed Taijutsu lotus movements, it's impossible to acquire this without training that whittles away flesh and blood. No matter how much you use the Sharingan, it can't just be mastered in a short amount of time. Moreover, his idea for that finishing move. Kakashi, this boy reminds me of when you were a kid. Guy thought back to those days. Last year's #1 rookie was Neji Hyuga, this year's #1 rookie is Sasuke Uchiha. I wonder which is stronger. Then can't forget about that guy acnologia. He has to be something special in order to gain Neji's attention. He does have that weird power of his, Tenten said mentally. Weird? I thought this kid was supposed to be marked by the curse mark. Did Orochimaru lie, or did Anko gazed over to the Dragon Slayer? Is that why he brought up my curse mark? Because he got rid of the one on the Uchiha kid? This is getting more interesting. Zaku said. Yeah. Of course he won, it's Sasuke-kun after all. Ino obviously happy about Sasuke winning. Welp, this is as far as we'll go, Shikamaru noted. I'm hungry, Choji complained. Wow. Hinata exclaimed in surprise. He's nothing special. Kiba grumbled. Regardless of him not having the cursed seal, Orochimaru was very pleased with Sasuke's performance. Magnificent. Sasuke-kun, you did great. Sakura praised. Before that lion's barrage, your movements mirrored Guy's Taijutsu. So you copied it with the Sharingan when you fought against that Lee kid that one time? Kakashi asked. Sasuke nodded. Really, he's something else. To think he'd develop the true power of the Sharingan in mid-battle like that. So what's most to be feared of the Uchiha clan is the Uchiha ability. Kakashi thought to himself. Sasuke turned to look at Naruto. Well. I'm not giving you credit for beating that weak bastard, it was expected of you to win. But I must say, that last move of yours was indeed impressive. You just need to get stronger to prevent yourself from straining your body whenever you use that move. That also means increasing your speed. Naruto said. A smirk formed on Sasuke's face. I'll keep that in mind, Naruto. Once the medics took Yoroi away, Hate spoke. We will get right to it and begin the second match. Everyone looked to see the screen randoming shuffling through names again. Abumi's Aku vs Shino Aburam. Which weakling is it? Zaku smirked. Both of you, come forward. Hate said. Shino and Zaku were standing across each other on the battle area. We will now begin the second match. Hate announced. That's that sound ninja, the one who had his arms broken and dislocated by Naruto. How is he going to fight with those arms? Sakura wondered. I wonder if Shino-kun will be okay. Hinata voiced out loud. Don't worry, he's strong. Kiba assured her. Huh? Hinata looked at her teammate. I'd square off with anybody except him. Kiba said. Now then, please begin. Hate stepped back. Orochimaru took this time to leave the area. Dosu wondered why did he suddenly leave. If you fight here, you'll be finished. Withdrawal. Shino calmly warned his opponent. Somehow, this one still works, so Zaku took his left arm out of his sling. One arm is enough to take care of you. He charged towards Shino. Shino easily blocked his attack using his right arm. You can't beat me with just one arm. Stop pestering me. Take this. Zanket. Slicing sound wave, Zaku fired a burst of sound waves at Shino. Not expecting this, Shino was sent to the ground, tumbling. Come on. Get up. Zaku smirked before his eyes widened. When Shino stood back up, bugs could be seen coming out of him. What? Bugs? They burst from the skin from inside the body. This guy is a freak. Zaku thought before saying. What kind of bluff are you trying to pull? Suddenly he turned around and became shocked seeing a multitude of bugs crawling behind him. These are called parasitic insects. They attack their prey in groups and eat chakra. When they're attacking by this amount, make no mistake, you're finished. If you don't like that, give up. That would be in your best interests. If you use your left arm technique on me, I'll simultaneously have the bugs exploit the opening from behind. Conversely, if you use your technique on the bugs, I'll simultaneously exploit the opening. Either way, you won't be able to get through this. An ace in the hole is something you set aside. Shino explained calmly, forming the tiger hand seal. Zaku gritted his teeth in anger, memories of his past flooding through his head, making him grow even angrier the more he reminisced. No longer can I make things blow up in my face. He forcefully brought his right arm out of the sling. Don't underestimate me. Zaku declared loudly while stretching his arms out completely. Shino undid his hand seal, watching Zaku open his right hand. An ace in the hole is something you set aside, right? Zaku repeated to Shino. He tried to fire an attack directly at Shino. Too bad for Zaku, he unfortunately had his intention blown up in his face in a literal sense. His arms exploded due to the Shino's bugs clogging up the holes in his palms. Zaku cried out in intense pain. My arms. He gazed down at his hands to see that his holes were blocked. What's this? Shino appeared behind him. Earlier when I recommended that you give up as a precautionary measure, I gave a suggestion to the bugs to block that troublesome wind hole with their bodies and remain still. That's what a real ace in the hole is. Zaku gasped in shock, then narrowed his eyes in rage. He tried to attack Shino. You asshole. Shino simply gave him a backhanded punch to the jaw that made spit fly out of his mouth. Zaku landed and skidded across the ground. Pei-8 walked up to Zaku, checking out his injuries. It seems it's over. The winner. Shino Aburam. What is he, Niji? Lee asked his teammate. Niji activated his Byakugan, he gasped at what he saw. He's something else. I can understand him calling bugs with a summoning jutsu, but he harbors bugs all over his body. Say what? Lee exclaimed. He's descended from the bug tamer race of Konoha. Guy explained. That's right, I've heard of them. The story of a race who from the time they are born possess the secret technique of loaning their bodies as nests to bugs and are able to use these bugs in battle. They fully control the bugs and entrust most of the battle to these bugs. I understand they contract with the bugs to give their chakra as food compensation. Niji said. That was unfortunate, Zaku. Dosu said. Would that happen to Zaku's arms? Kin wondered. Probably, that guy called Shino or whatever seized an opportune moment and stuck those bugs into the exhaust opening in Zaku's hands. If he were to fire a slicing sound wave in that condition, the energy with no way out would expand in search of an exit. His arms blow up and become useless. Dosu explained. Kin gasped slightly, gazing down at Zaku being put on a stretcher. Kurenai sighed. Wow, he really gives me a chill sometimes. I thought he was a creepy person from long before, but Sakura thought. Good work Shino-kun, Hinata told her teammate when he got up the stairs. Boy, you did it. Kiba voiced. Yes, I'm counting on you guys, too. Shino stepped over to the rail. Kiba gritted his teeth and glared at the Aburam clan heir. This guy, he comes back like he's the team leader or something. Damn it. You have my respect for making great use of little insects, Shino. Naruto chuckled darkly, which put a few people on a bit of an edge. Oddly enough he sounds so sexy to me right now, Kurenai thought with a slight blush. She wasn't the only woman who had similar thoughts. Now then, I would like to get right to the next match. Hayate announced. Tsurugi Misumi vs Kankuro. This match ended quickly in Kankuro's favor. Misumi tried to get Kankuro to forfeit by using his soft physique modification technique to strangle his neck. Sadly for Misumi, he was actually wrapped around Kankuro's puppet. Kankuro made his puppet wrap its arms around Misumi's body to constrict him, breaking every bone in his body before Misumi was able to forfeit. For once, I was close to stopping the match midway. Hayate thought before saying out loud. The winner, by an inability to continue the match by the opponent, is Kankuro. So far all the fighters seem like great chakra users. I thought I could make it far with chakra. Sakura said mentally to herself. Hayate coughed a few times. Now then, to continue we will begin the fourth match. The screen lit up again and began randoming going through names. Sakura Haruno vs Ino Yamanaka. Both Sakura and Ino were surprised by this turnout. As Ino was making her way down, Sakura was going to do the same until Naruto stopped her by grabbing her shoulder. Sakura turned around. Yeah, Naruto. Remember that threat I gave Sasuke earlier about him losing? Yeah, that same threat goes to you too, Sakura-chan. The Dragon King smirked darkly. Sakura's eyes widened. Seriously? But Sasuke. I don't care, no excuses. Naruto stated in a serious tone. Besides, you have nothing to worry about, remember the technique I taught you earlier. One hit and this match is yours. I promise you I will make you regret it if you lose after I took the time to give you a way to not embarrass yourself. He growled. Sakura froze, how could she have already forgotten about the technique Naruto showed her? Is she an idiot? Oddly enough, she feels more confident now. Narrowing her eyes in determination, Sakura replied. You're right, no excuses. Thanks for that Naruto, I didn't know until now, but I guess I really needed that. I won't disappoint you. The Pincat made her way down to the lower level. What exactly did you show her, Naruto? Kakashi asked. Sasuke wanted to know as well. Why spoil the surprise? I'm sure you'll see it very soon into the match, sensei. It's a technique that suits someone like Sakura with his kind of chakra control. Naruto responded with his arms crossed. This caught Kakashi's attention. Ino and Sakura were standing across from one another. I never thought I'd be fighting you, Sakura, and what's more, so soon. Ino said. Asuma was looking down, smoking a cigarette. Ino was a standout among the rookie Kunoichi. With Sakura as her opponent, will she go? No, can she go with serious intent? To think it would be these two of all people. Things have gotten gloomy. I wonder if Ino will be okay. Shikamaru voiced. Asuma agreed, though he didn't voice it out loud. That's for sure. What are you going to do, Ino? Ino and Sakura took off running towards each other. The Pincat started with a right roundhouse kick that Ino ducked under. Ino threw a punch that got blocked. Sakura tried a low sweeping kick which Ino jumped over and jumped back. Next the Pincat tossed threw kunai at her opponent. The blonde Yamanaka deflected them with her own kunai. This back and forth kept on for about a minute longer. Ino had caught Sakura in the stomach with a punch, causing the pink-haired Kunoichi to stop due to the shot to her stomach, the wind being knocked out of her briefly. There. Ino saw her opening and threw a right punch intended to hit Sakura in her forehead. Sakura saw the attack coming. She closed her eyes for a second, intending to focus in order to pull off a quick substitution to avoid the incoming punch. Only to find out her intention became unneeded since Ino for some reason pulled her back and smacked Sakura lightly on the chest instead. Sakura's eyes snapped open, looking at Ino, who was looking at her own hand in confusion. Sakura felt a level of anger rise in her. She's pitying me. She's been pulling her punches back because she's pitying me. The Pincat didn't want Ino's or anyone else's pity. Ino was quite surprised when she saw Sakura glare at her with fierce anger shining through her eyes. What the? Ino, I'm only going to say this once. Stop embarrassing me. Sakura voiced. Huh? What do you mean? Ino asked. You know damn well what I mean. Stop pitying me. I don't need or want it. You pulling your punches is an embarrassment to me because it gives off the impression that you believe I'm weak enough to the point you pity me. You know what? Forget it, I'm ending this. I'll show you who is really the one who needs to be pitied. Sakura exclaimed loudly in anger. For the first time, she used her chakra to enhance her speed. She was successful in her first attempt. Ino's eyes widened when Sakura suddenly vanished, then appeared right in front of her. Take your pity and shove it up your ass, Ino pig. Shinaro. The Pincat stored a certain amount of chakra into her fist into a single point, then threw her fist back to land a clean blow dead into Ino's gut without remorse. Ino coughed up spit and blood as she was sent flying to the wall. The impact her back made on said wall was hard, forcing even more wind out of her lungs, coughing up more blood and spit while falling face first to the ground. Nearly everyone was stunned by the sudden turnaround of the battle. Getting over his shock, Hate called the match. Due to the opponent no longer being able to continue. The winner. Sakura Haruno. I won, oh my god, I really won. Sakura exclaimed to herself happily. She made her way back up to her team. Anko whistled while watching Sakura head up the stairs. Well, I'll be, Pinky sure knows how to throw a hell of a punch. Ibiki nodded. I can't disagree with you there, she must have superb control of her chakra to be able to pull that off. Whoa. Was she always that strong? Kiba asked out loud. Amazing, Hinata said. So, 2 out of the 3 on Kakashi's team already made it past the preliminaries. I knew his team was talented, though I didn't expect for them to be this talented. We really do have a great crop of rookies this year. Kurenai noted in her mind. Sakura-chan Lee definitely is surprised with how the match ended. And that girl has talent when it comes to controlling chakra. I must admit I originally didn't think much of her. Niji said. At least the ending of the fight turned out much better than the beginning of it. Tenten commented. That girl, she's on Kakashi's team, her last moments showed she certainly possesses talent in taijutsu, not just chakra control. To think she's capable of dishing out such a devastating blow, Guy thought to himself. Shikamaru called out. I hope she's okay, Choji voiced in worry. Asuma also is shocked by the turnout of the match. That caught me completely off guard, I hate to say it, Ino kind of brought that on herself. Well, there's more to that pink-haired girl than I thought. Tamari thought in amusement. Gin was flabbergasted. Isn't it the same girl I was roughing up in the forest? Could she always have done that? If so, why the hell didn't she? I'm pretty sure if she could, she definitely would have. It's possible she picked up a new trick after our encounter. Dosu replied. Sasuke's eyes were wide. Since when could she do that? That's also what Kakashi wanted to know, he couldn't believe what he just saw. He looked at Naruto, who in turn could be seen smirking. Is that what I thought it was? Chakra enhanced strength technique. Yep, and before you try to ask me how I know it, don't. It's too complicated to explain right now, just take this for an answer for now, Kakashi-sensei. I'm a different Naruto than the loudmouth brat I used to be. Naruto replied. Kakashi thought about it, the Uzumaki's words did make sense in an odd way. This isn't the same Naruto, and Kakashi himself said that earlier. I won. Sakura said to her team. Good job, Sakura. Kakashi told her. Sasuke nodded. You did well enough to win. You need a lot more training, the beginning of that match was pathetic. Plus you're nowhere near close to mastering that strength-enhancing technique. Though at least you won like I expected you to, you did good in that regard. Naruto voiced. Sakura nodded, she knew Naruto was right. She knows she's lucky Ino had been her opponent. Tenten vs Tamari. The 5th battle, Tenten, Tamari, come forward. Hate said. Both Kunoichi were already down on the battle floor, they each took a step forward towards one another. Still, seeing that last fight kinda made me all fired up, too. Tenten said to herself. Begin. Hate declared. For a moment there was a stare down between the two before Tenten jumped back a bit to gain distance. Up in the upper area, Guy and Lee were cheering loudly for Tenten. Not only did it annoy Sasuke, it really annoyed the hell out of Naruto. That spacing is just what I'd expect from Tenten, not too far, not too close. Offense or defense, she can respond with either one. Hiruzen mused in his thoughts. Noticing neither one has yet to make a move, Hate spoke up. What's wrong? Please begin. Tamari smirked confidently, she had a goal of drawing the eye of a certain someone using her soon-to-be victory. Are you planning to wait out and see how I make my move? Let me just tell you, once I start my attack you'll be crushed in a second. She stepped forward, which made Tenten step back. You're trying to be cool and see what I do first 100 years too early. It doesn't matter to me, I'll let you have the first move. Tamari pointed to herself with thumb, still smirking confidently. You said it well, I won't hold back. Tenten jumped into the air and threw several shuriken at Tamari. Tamari stood her ground and made the incoming shuriken miss their target. Tenten landed on the ground, shocked. They missed. That's impossible. What happened? Is that a warm-up? Or are you scared and your aim is off? I thought I would enjoy this at least a little bit more, but evidently it's not promising. Tamari mocked Tenten. Okay, calm down, don't let her get to you. Tenten measured the spacing between them. 1 2 3 if it's gonna get dodged, I just have to make it impossible to. So she's measuring the spacing, next one is going to be the big attack. Tamari summarized, placing a hand on her fan. Tenten smirked, realizing something. I see, so that fan is her secret. If so. The brunette started running to her left to run a complete big circle around her opponent. Then she jumped high into the air while spinning and flipping through the air. Tenten took out her scroll, unraveling it while spinning even faster in midair. Next she started unsealing the weapon within the scroll, sending every weapon she unsealed straight to Tamari. who in turn effortlessly deflected the flying weapons with her fan. Tenten landed back on the ground. No way. My throwing weapons. Is there a secret mechanism in that fan? This is the first star, there are 2 more. When the 3rd star appears, you will lose. Temari told Tenten. Tenten pulled out 2 more of her scrolls, kneeling down, she placed the scrolls beside her in an upright position. The blonde Suna Kinwaichi smirked. Ha. No matter what you do, it won't work. Her stance held supreme confidence. Going through the tiger, dragon, monkey, bird and snake hand seals. Tenten crossed her arms, calling out her technique. Rising twin dragons. Smshmrik, a big cloud of smoke erupted in the arena as the 2 scrolls rise up, spinning around each other cloaked in smoke shaped like a dragon. The smoke soon dispersed, Tenten jumped in between the scrolls, started unsealing and throwing weapons at Temari once again. The only difference is the number of weapons is greater. Too bad for Tenten, it accomplished nothing in the end. Even if you increase the amount, it's still the same. 2nd star. Temari swiped her fan, creating a large gust of wind to deflect all of the weapons. Tenten came back down to the ground. I'm not done yet. Again, she jumped into the air, pulling the wire strings connected to her weapons. She used the wire strings to bring her weapons into the air. Once recovered, Tenten attacked Temari once more. Did I do it? Did I get her? The brunette thought to herself. Temari just used her fan to deflect the attack, sending Tenten skidding across the ground. Also revealing the 3rd purple star of her battle fan. 3rd star. She used her fan to make it seem like she vanished. Tenten became confused. She disappeared. Where is she? I'm over here. Temari called out from behind her. Damn it, Tenten cursed as she spun herself around to see Temari gliding through the air on her fan. Temari swiftly landed on the ground while smirking at her opponent. Ninja art. Wind scythe jutsu. Kamitachi no jutsu. Using her great folding fan, Temari caused many wind currents with each other, creating vacuum pockets. Essentially, this technique unleashed a powerful gust of wind to blow away all of Tenten's attacks. Said brunette had been knocked out her feet, being engulfed by the winds. Numerous blades of wind carving her body up all over, overall forming a tornado of wind around Tenten. Tenten. Lee yelled out in worry of his teammate. Takra is enfolded in that wind. Niji said. Huh. Lee turned to look at Niji. Tenten fought well, but she won't be able to escape that twister. Niji stated. The tornado died down, along with Tenten descending. Poor Tenten landed back first really hard on the metal end of Temari's fan, she coughed up blood from the impact. How boring really. Temari voiced, gazing at her defeated foe. I think she completely intercepted Tenten's weapons attacks. Guy noted. This is ridiculous. Lee grunted. It's just like Shikamaru said, it's soon as win. Choji said. Shikamaru sighed. That's why I said it. There's no reason for us to lose here. Kankuro said. The 3rd Hokage was smoking his pipe. Sun Agakure is to be feared. Temari wins the 5th match. Hey, declared. A smirk formed on Temari's face, she threw Tenten off of her fan like she was worthless. Oh no. Lee jumped over the railing, down to the battle floor. He caught Tenten in his arms before she could hit the ground. HMPH, nice catch. Temari commented. What do you think you're doing? Is that something you do to an opponent who fought to the utmost? Lee retorted in anger. Temari slammed the end of her fan on the ground. You're annoying. Take the trash away already. Oh, I definitely like her. Naruto smirked, his team giving him an odd look. Somehow I'm not surprised. Sakura and Sasuke both thought. Lee gritted his teeth and charged towards Temari. Stop. Lee. Niji shouted. Lee jumped to attack using Leaf Hurricane, sadly his kick was blocked by Temari's fan. What? Lee gasped in shock. You're just like you look, you're dull too. Temari commented. What did you say? Lee retorted in anger. I was about to move, but stopped when he saw Naruto already on the lower level. What the how did he? I wasn't the only one who had that question, no one actually saw Naruto move. Not even his own team, Kakashi was stunned to the core how he didn't notice Naruto take a single step. Hiruzen understood that this is only the beginning of Naruto's prowess, it worried him greatly that not even he saw the scarlet-haired Uzumaki move. Boy, bushy brows. The Dragon King roughly grabbed the bowl-cut genin by the shoulder. Lee winced in pain, then looked back, surprised to see Naruto behind him. Naruto-kun. Listen, I get you're upset about your teammate losing and how she was treated after losing. But you need to look at the bigger picture, you're complaining about your teammate being roughed up a little more when her opponent could have just killed her. We are shinobi, there is no honor in how we battle. Right now, your behavior is disgraceful, you're embarrassing our village with your feeble complaints. Tenten was too weak to defeat Temari, get over it and be grateful Tenten is still alive. Naruto told Lee in a harsh tone. Lee's eyes widened briefly before he looked down in shame. You're right, I didn't think about it that way. Tenten could have been killed and it wouldn't have been against the rules. Thank you for helping me realize that, Naruto-kun. Whatever, just stop making a fool out of yourself and our village. It's annoying. Naruto replied darkly. Temari had been checking out Naruto, pleased that he understood she showed mercy in her actions. She was also intrigued by his blunt personality. Temari. Gaara called out to his sister. Come up quick, you've been declared the winner. Don't keep company with that awful-looking guy and the other one behind him forever. He glared down at Lee and Naruto. What Lee said. That's funny, I actually like her company. Naruto smirked, then narrowed his eyes on Gaara. Oi, you pathetic trash, yeah I'm talking to you, you damn Tanuki brat. Aki, Temari and Kankuro's eyes all widened briefly in shock hearing Naruto say the word Tanuki. What the hell? Does he know? They all thought simultaneously. Gaara only narrowed his eyes further, staring right back at Naruto. Don't underestimate this kid, Naruto used his thumb to point at Lee. He's strong, I've witnessed it with my own eyes. You should prepare yourself, especially if you're unfortunate enough to have me as your opponent. Finishing his threat with a dark smirk. You'll be crushed, just like the others. Gaara retorted coldly. HMPH, we'll have to see about that, Tanuki brat. Naruto chuckled in a dark manner as he turned around to head back to the upper area. He stopped for a moment to look at Temari. By the way, I like a woman who knows how to flaunt her strength, dominance and beauty all into one. You've certainly got my interest, Temari. He gave her a smirk and winked prior to continuing to leave the battle floor. Temari blushed slightly, a small smirk formed on her face. Mission accomplished, now to see if this can go anywhere further. Picking a fight with those Suna ninja, I absolutely wouldn't want to do it with those guys. Kiba said. I still refuse to believe that's Naruto. No way. Even if it is, I bet he's still weak even though I didn't see him move earlier. They're all awesome, Shinobi Hinata commented. Naruto-kun, he's so different yet he still has that confidence, even more so than I last remembered. Would he compliment me in a similar way he did to that girl from Suna? Akamaru whined, scared of both Naruto and Gaara. Shikamaru Nara vs Tsuchi-kin. It's me, huh? Shikamaru said as he was walking on the battle floor. Shikamaru, don't lose. Show us that you're a real man. Go get her with the 16 combo. Win Shikamaru. You go for it. Ino cheered. Ino's become super energetic, I still don't know how she recovered from Sakura's punch, Choji thought. Ino was still very sore from her match. Alright. Shikamaru sighed. That guy manipulates shadows, be careful of those shadows. Dosu warned Kin. HMPH, I won't be beaten by a stupid technique like that, Kin said confidently. Kin and Shikamaru were standing across one another, prepared for battle. Man, what a drag. Furthermore, my opponent is a woman, it's hard to get into it, Shikamaru complained. If that's why you think, I'll end this quickly. Kin replied. Well, you could say that I know these guys' raw power from that incident in the second test. With this one, I don't know anything about her jutsu. On top of that, she's seen my jutsu. That being said, for me Shikamaru trailed. The sixth battle, Shikamaru vs Kin. Begin. Hey, declared. I can only do this. Shikamaru made the rat hand seal. One trick pony, huh? Kin voiced, mocking her opponent. Shut up. Ninja art. Shadow possession jutsu. Kajime no jutsu. Shikamaru announced out loud, sending his shadow towards Kin. That jutsu, it's nothing if I'll just pay attention to the movement of your shadow. Kin exclaimed, dodging the shadow and throwing her senbons with bells attached. Shikamaru avoided them, he heard the bells ringing. Bells. Heh, that's truly a classic. He stood to his feet. Next, you'll throw senbons with bells and senbon without bells at the same time, right? I'll respond to the sound of the bells intending to dodge them. But I won't notice the quiet senbon and ouch. Is that right? He smirked slightly. You're a chatty guy. Kin threw more senbons towards her foe. So in order to not get caught by the shadow senbon, I'm alert to the trick and look closely. Shikamaru stopped when he heard another bell ring behind him. What? Behind. He turned to see behind him, he saw a string was attached to it. A string. Damn it. The Nara clan heir gazed back at his opponent. Kin tugged her string, then threw 3 more senbon to strike Shikamaru. Too late. Shikamaru was stuck in the arm. Shikamaru. Ino cried out in worry. Shikamaru pulled out the senbon stuck in his right arm. For a moment, I dodged a fatal hit. Now it's my turn. That's not gonna happen. Kin pulled her strings, using her bells to put Shikamaru in a jinjutsu. Suddenly, the Nara felt off. What's this? Hearing the sound of the bells ringing again forced him to drop onto his knees. Kin laughed, a hand on her hip. That happens to anyone who hears my bell. The sound vibration of this special bell reaches the brain directly from the eardrum, then it will cause you to hallucinate. Shikamaru tried to cover his ears. It's useless. You can't avoid the sound of my bell by doing that. Kin's voice echoed as multiple images of her appeared. Shoot. Which one is the real one? Shikamaru uncovered his ears. You can't do anything, can you? Your shadow, which was your faint hope, doesn't even know where to stretch too well. I'll cook you slowly. Kin along with her copy spoke in unison. Taking me this lightly? Shikamaru grunted, then grunted in pain when Kin threw another 3 senbons that struck him. This time it's 5, next time 7. I'll continue until you become a hedgehog. Kin said. Shikamaru called her bluff. You're lying, you brat. Huh? Kin replied. You'd end it soon, that's what you said in the beginning, isn't it? The Nara questioned. I see, you can't endure the pain and want to be put at ease. Well, I'll finish it here. It's your death warrant. Kin was about to attack again, but then when she tried to move she realized she couldn't. What? My body. Shikamaru sighed in relief. At last, shadow possession jutsu is a success. What are you saying? No way. Your shadow isn't anywhere, Kin responded. You still don't get it? Shikamaru smirked. Kin's eyes went wide. I can't be. It's just that, you fool. A threat at this height can't have a shadow. I can stretch and shrink my own shadow. Shikamaru explained. His shadow could be seen taking on a larger and thicker form. Kin watched it stretched out under her feet. The shadow is gradually getting thicker. This wasn't the shadow of the thread, Kin noticed. That's right, I stretched my shadow and made it narrow, so it looked like the shadow of a thread and stuck it on you. Shikamaru further explained, lifting up his right arm. Kin's arm was forced to be lifted up thanks to his shadow. But how do you win with that? I'm just gonna move the same way as you. Annoying. Be quiet and watch. Shikamaru reached down to grab a shuriken from his pouch, making Kin do the same. Idiot. If you continue like this and attack, you too will be wounded. Kin exclaimed with wide eyes. I know that. The Nara replied. No way, you're actually. Kin didn't think he would really do it. We're gonna throw shuriken at each other. How far will we go? Shikamaru threw his shuriken at Kin. Kin had no choice but to throw her own shuriken. Stop, you fool. She cried out. Both shurikens got close to their targets. Shikamaru bent himself back to dodge the shuriken coming after him. This in turn caused Kin to also bend herself back. You're only all talk, those were her last thoughts before she knocked herself out by hitting the back of her head on the wall behind her. And that's what I call using your head. Shikamaru flipped onto his feet, standing victoriously. The wise shinobi carefully scouts the physical layout of the battlefield and never loses sight of their position on it. That was her problem. I made sure she was so busy focusing on me she didn't notice the wall inches behind her head. So when we both dodged backwards, boom. Now who is the one hearing bells? Winner of the 6th match, Shikamaru Nara. Hayate announced. Good job, Shikamaru. Ino cheered. Yeah, way to go. Choji also cheered for his best friend. Come on, me next. Lee hoped he was the one next to fight so badly. That guy is dull, though that was kind of impressive. Sasuke commented. Sakura nodded in agreement. This makes me the only one left. Dosu concluded. And now for the next match, Hayate said as the monitor was randomly going through the remaining names. The people left are One Sound Ninja, me, Choji, Hinata, the guy who claims he's Naruto, Neji, Lee, and that sand guy Kiba counted off his fingers. Just please spare me from that guy. He referred to Gaara. This year's rookies look quite challenging. Neji stated, he gazed over towards Hinata briefly. Hinata noticed it, she made eye contact with Neji for a second before quickly looking away. She had a sad expression on her face. Soon, 2 names had been displayed on the monitor. Naruto Uzumaki versus Kiba Inuzuka. Kiba became very happy seeing his opponent. Hell yeah. Lucky us. If it's that guy we'll absolutely win, Akamaru. Akamaru did not have anywhere near the same level of confidence as Kiba did. He knew that Naruto was the most dangerous person in the whole room. Lee was down on how it wasn't his turn. If I'm not next, Sakura will despise me and call me bushy brow. If I'm not next, Sakura will, he kept on mumbling to himself. This Lee kid, he's just like Guy was in the past, Kakashi thought, looking at Guy. Who in turn stared back and grinned brightly, his teeth shined and he gave a thumbs up. Then Naruto-kun, I want to support you, but Kiba-kun is my teammate. Kiba-kun will get mad, but Hinata didn't know who she wanted to win. Naruto, huh? Normally I would say he couldn't beat Kiba. But with the way he is now I'm not sure if this match will go in Kiba's favor. Kurenai thought. Kiba is done. Choji said. Shikamaru sighed. Man, I kind of feel bad for the guy. He stands no chance against Naruto. Ino agreed. Asuma took note of this, it got him wondering just how strong is Naruto. So it's his turn. Neji said. Acnologia is up, Dosu thought. This will be the first glimpse Hiruzen noted to himself. Well, you're up, Naruto. Sasuke said to his scarlet-haired teammate. Good luck, Naruto. Sakura voiced. Naruto scoffed. Good luck. Ha. As if I would require luck against this weakling. Appreciate the gesture, but you can keep it, Sakura-chan. This won't take long. Don't underestimate your opponent, Naruto. Kakashi warned his student. Shaking his head. Trust me, sensei, if anything it's possible I may be overestimating my expectations of Kiba. Naruto jumped over the rail and landed gracefully on his feet. He walked over to the middle of the battle arena. Soon enough, Kiba and Naruto were standing across from each other. Kiba smirked arrogantly. If this really is the same Naruto, then there shouldn't be anything to worry about. Briefly thinking back to the times where Naruto failed to perform a simple clone technique. Since you claim to really be that loser, Naruto, I guess you deserve some sympathy. At least I'll do you in one single clean blow. Kiba declared. Really? If that's the case, why doesn't your Ninken seem nowhere near as confident in your physical ability against me? Naruto retorted while rolling his eyes. Kiba was confused by what Naruto meant until he looked down at Akamaru. He saw Akamaru was shaking in fear, whining too. Akamaru. What's wrong? Why are you scared all of a sudden? He's been like this since the beginning of these preliminaries. I would know since I could sense that fear rolling off of him. And here I thought the Inyazuka clan always paid attention to their Ninken. The Uzumaki scoffed. Shut up. What would Akamaru even be scared of in the first place? You? What a joke. Kiba retorted. Well, that would be the most logical explanation since Akamaru, unlike you, his master, understands his place in the hierarchy of the world. After all, everyone who has yet to see it until now became shocked when Naruto brought his dragon tail back out. They wondered how is it possible for him to have such a thing as a part of him. What the fuck? Had been the collective thoughts of all the Jounin. Hiruzen knew his situation was becoming worse. How the hell is he supposed to explain this to the council? After all, I've always been an apex predator. Naruto chuckled darkly, his tail smacked the ground once causing the ground itself to form cracks. What the hell is that? Kiba shouted in shock and a bit of fear. Obviously it's my tail. Naruto answered. Tail? Humans don't have tails, you freak. Kiba retorted. Freak? You think this is abnormal? Ha. You wouldn't last a single second in Orochimaru's presence if you can't handle this much. Naruto mocked. He looked at Hade. Why haven't you started the match yet? I'd appreciate it if you stop wasting my time. Hade blinked. Oh. Right, sorry about that. Well then, please begin. Kiba bent knees and formed the tiger hand seal, a smirk could be seen on his face. Ninja art of beast mimicry. All fours jutsu. Shikyaku no jutsu. He got down on all fours, chakra seeping out of him as finger and toenails became claw-like, pupils turning into slits. Let's go. Kiba dashed towards Naruto with a heightened level of speed. Fast. Sakura thought. Kiba landed a clean elbow into Naruto's mid-chest, his eyes instantly went wide when he saw that Naruto didn't budge at all from his original spot. Was I supposed to feel something? Not only are you slower than a snail, you had no power behind your attack. Pathetic. Naruto scoffed. Kiba growled in anger, he jumped back to gain distance. He fed Akamaru a soldier pill, then incarnated. Akamaru jumped onto Kiba's back as his fur turned red, resulting in him transform into a copy of Kiba. Man-beast clone. Jin Bunshin. Kiba said. Just get on with it. Naruto told him. Fine. Since you asked for it. Kiba and Akamaru charged at Naruto on all fours, they jumped into the air to start spinning their bodies rapidly enough to where they become similar to drills. Man-beast ultimate to jutsu. Fang over fang. Gatsuka. The two rotating drills came directly at Naruto, who stared at the incoming drills with a stoic expression. When the drills made contact, Naruto literally felt no force at all from their first attack. Kiba and Akamaru moved around Naruto to trap him. They kept striking him hard using hit and run tactics, unfortunately their efforts were all for naught. Eventually Kiba and Akamaru stopped their assault, their rapid movements created a lot of dust that's currently covering Naruto's entire form. Everyone was waiting to see how much damage Naruto took, many were shocked to see once the dust cleared that Naruto didn't look damaged at all. In fact, none of Kiba or Akamaru's attacks moved him out of his original position in the slightest. I'm assuming you're finished. Naruto asked while brushing off his black cloaks a bit. What? That's impossible. There's no way you came out of that without some kind of damage. We made plenty of direct hits on you. Kiba exclaimed. Well, for starters, let's get one thing clear. I let you hit me, why the hell else would I stand there being attacked? Another thing, even with Akamaru helping you the results are still the same. You're too slow and lack the strength to move me a centimeter out of my spot, how pathetic. Naruto berated him harshly. Kiba felt a major blow to his pride hearing Naruto's words. Why you? Akamaru, again. No, this match is over, you weak trash. Naruto threw a punch at the air so fast it created a shockwave that collided straight into Kiba, as if he was given a strong punch. The attack sent Kiba flying into the wall, the impact of his crash was pretty brutal. Aside from coughing up spit and blood and being in a lot of pain, Kiba fell unconscious. Hayate saw this and declared the match. The winner of the 7th battle, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto didn't feel anything but annoyance from his victory, he scoffed. And I thought I was supposed to be the one done in one blow. What a waste of my time, you could have at least forced yourself to stay conscious after my weak attack. Yet you couldn't even do that, tch, Akamaru deserves a better master than a pitiful piece of weak trash such as yourself, Kiba. He walked off towards the stairs. Wow, well, I don't approve of the way he spoke to Kiba, the way he showed not an ounce of worry in battle, did turn me on, Kurenai admitted to herself. He's something else alright, Anko thought as she watched Naruto walk to the stairs. No wonder these three were so confident, I didn't think Naruto would end it like that. Assume amused. As expected. Neji stated. And Naruto-kun won. Hinata was happy for her crush. Yosh. Way to go Naruto. Lee shouted. Called it. Shikamaru said lazily. Yep. Choji nodded. Holy crap, that guy can tank some hits, Kankuro commented. And he didn't suffer a single scratch, reminds me of Gaara a bit. Tamari commented. Powerful, confident and some brutality, I'm liking him more than I thought I would. Gaara didn't say anything, he took note that Naruto was indeed going to be a powerful future opponent. Way to go, Naruto. Sakura cheered for her teammate. Sasuke smirked. I didn't expect anything less, Kiba got off lucky though. Naruto's durability must be off the charts now if he's able to take on one of the Inuzuka clan's powerful jutsus without receiving any damage. Then there's that last attack of his. Kakashi trailed his thoughts as his scarlet-haired student walked up to the team. You did well, Naruto. PSK, worthless trash was a waste of effort. Save your compliments for another time, Kakashi-sensei. By the way, sometime soon me and you need to talk about something important. Naruto voiced. He had a frown on his face while his arms were folded. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Alright. That kid, forget about his impressive durability, his last attack is what really stood out. I hardly caught it myself. With one punch he was able to generate enough force to create a shockwave that carried the power of his punch. To perform such an incredible feat requires tremendous physical strength, speed, body control and a lot of concentration. Yet he made it look effortless. I know I couldn't do anything like that myself unless I was using at least the 5th gate, and not to mention he said it was a weak punch. I hate to say this, Lee, but it's more than likely you will lose to Naruto if you encounter him in a fight, Guy deeply thought to himself. Noting that Naruto has incredible talent in Taijutsu if he's able to do what he did to Kiba. Hinata was walking over to Naruto and his team, nervously. What to do? What if he doesn't accept it? She spoke in a soft, shy tone. Ayano, and Naruto-kun. Naruto and the rest of Team 7 turned their heads to see Hinata standing next to Naruto, said Dragon Slayer noticed her scent heading towards him. Hinata. Well, isn't this a surprise, the last time we talked was during the first exam. What's up? Hinata was twiddling her thumbs nervously, she gulped and looked to the side before she forced herself to look back up at Naruto. Then she held up the ointment in her hands to him. Hinata, my she's becoming a bit bold. Kurenai mused in surprise. What's this? Naruto asked. It's an ointment tea that I made. Please take it and use it for your injuries and Naruto-kun. Hinata stuttered. This gesture surprised Naruto, then he came to a realization thanks to his ability to sense the emotions of people. She has feelings. With how dense I used to be, it makes sense why I never noticed her feelings until now. Well, Hinata is definitely attractive and I can only imagine how much more beautiful she'll become in a few years. If I'm going to involve myself with her, then I need to get rid of this pathetic demeanor of hers. She lacks too much confidence in herself. Normally I wouldn't waste my time if her feelings for me weren't so genuine. Be prepared for your future training with the Dragon King Hyuga. Hinata, the Dragon King, said mentally to himself. You made this? You must have some talent in the medical arts then, Hinata, thank you for giving me this. Naruto gave a small grin as he took the ointment out of her hands. Hinata blushed, she was happy that Naruto accepted her healing ointment. Why, you're welcome. Hinata Hyuga versus Neji Hyuga. Hinata Kurenai felt worried for her student. This is going to be an interesting match. Here is in thought. Neji was ready, he made his way down to the lower level. Hinata stared at the monitor screen in shock and a bit of fear. Naruto saw the fear in her eyes, he put 2 and 2 together and figured Neji and possibly a good portion of the Hyuga clan has to do with Hinata's lack of self-confidence. Naruto can tell just by looking at her that Hinata is a strong girl without a doubt, she just doesn't realize it herself yet. Boy Hinata, look at me. Naruto commanded. Hinata's eyes widened hearing the tone of Naruto's voice change, he sounded serious now. She did as told and was even more surprised when he placed a hand on her head. "And then Naruto-kun," she stammered and blushed. "Why is there fear in your eyes, Hinata? Don't tell me you're scared of that trash who you're about to face. You have no reason to fear when you yourself are strong. You may not see it, but I do, and that's all that matters in the end. Remember, you are a Hyuga, the Hyuga clan heiress at that. Stop standing in nervousness and fear and stand tall with the pride that comes with being a Hyuga. Besides, even if you lose, all that means is you learned what weakness you have to get rid of. Now stop being this pathetic version of yourself and go show that trash what you're capable of." Naruto subtly used his magic to instill Hinata with a massive boost in her confidence. Hinata could only stare at Naruto with even wider eyes, shocked by his words to her. He thought she was strong. Her crush sees her as someone strong. Obviously Hinata didn't realize she was being given confidence in a literal sense, though she did notice herself feeling way more confident in herself than ever before. No longer did she feel any fear or nervousness. Neji, regardless of whether she loses, Hinata will make sure she loses as a proud Hyuga and Kunoichi. She will make her team and Naruto proud. She narrowed her eyes in determination. "Hi, Naruto-sama." Naruto smirked. "Good girl, now go." Hinata did as told and walked confidently down to meet her opponent on the battle floor. Kurenai and Shino were quite surprised to see this sudden change in her demeanor. They both figured Naruto must have something to do with it. Whatever he did, Kurenai is very grateful to him that he did something to help Hinata's lack of self-confidence. "How come you didn't threaten her like you did me and Sakura?" Sasuke wondered. "Yeah, how come?" Naruto stared at them as if they were stupid. "Because she's not on my team, you dumbasses. I hold you two to different standards because you're on my team, and I don't accept weakness or losing from anyone on my team. Especially from you two, since both of you have great potential to become powerful in your own rights in the near future. It's not only an embarrassment to me, it's an embarrassment to yourselves if I didn't hold you guys to a high standard. This should have been obvious by now." His answer caught Sasuke and Sakura off guard, having no idea Naruto expected a lot from them. Hinata and Neji were on the battle floor standing across from one another. Neji glared at Hinata when said girl met his stare head on. She wasn't going to back down any longer. "I never thought I would have to fight with you, Hinata-sama." Neji spoke first. "Neji nice," and Hinata replied. "Start the battle." Hey declared. "Just one more thing before we square off against each other in this fight, I strongly advised you to withdraw, Hinata-sama. You're not suited to be a shinobi. You're too nice, you wish for harmony and avoid conflict. You're open to going with the thinking of others. And, you have no confidence in yourself. You're always feeling inferior, you thought it's a good idea to stay a genin. However, you can't register for the Chunin exams without 3 members. So you couldn't turn it down when Kiba and the other one proposed it, and the truth is you entered the exams reluctantly. Isn't that right?" Neji told her. He was surprised to see the fierce confidence and anger in her eyes, it actually stunned him to the core. "No. You're dead wrong. I took these exams to prove something to myself. The last thing I'm going to do is listen to you try to break me down mentally into quitting the match. Now, are you ready to fight, Neji Naisan? Because I challenge you." Hinata retorted fiercely, her Byakugan pulsed to life on its own as she took her Jiken stance. Her outburst surprised quite a few people, especially her team. Naruto was smirking down at her. Neji narrowed his eyes and activated his own Byakugan. "You're the spoiled one of the head family, very well, fine if that's what you desire, Hinata-sama." He got into his own Jiken stance. Deep down Neji could tell that this fight was about to be a lot more intense than he originally expected it to be. Seeing the raging fire in Hinata's eyes told Neji that she's going to come at him with everything she's got. With no more words being spoken, both Hyugas took a leap towards each other. Hinata threw the first palm strike, which was blocked by Neji. The girl thrusted 2 more chakra-laced palm strikes that were dodged. Neji attacked with 3 of his own palm strikes, and said palm strikes were carefully avoided. This continued on as the 2 fighters went blow for blow. Each clash resulted in excess chakra spilling into the air and quickly fading away. Hinata attacked with another palm strike, though Neji deflected it with his arm. Neji retaliated by throwing a blow back at her, however Hinata blocked him using her wrist. The girl gave Neji a series of palm strikes that he kept avoiding when he threw his own series of palm strikes back at his opponent. Hinata dodged them, bending her back to avoid the last attack. Their sandals skidded loudly against the ground as they shifted their positions, continuing their intense bout of Jiken. Neither one has yet to land a clean blow. As they were battling, Hinata noticed something different about her Byakugan. His chakra points, I can see them, but how? I've never been able to see on this level with my Byakugan before, I'll have to think about it more later on. She thought. Both her and Neji pulled back and sent him for the attack. He struck her dead in the chest while she struck on the right side of his. Hinata felt pain erupt in her chest, she spewed blood from her mouth. As I thought, this is the extent of it. The main family's power irk. Niji suddenly felt pain in the area where Hinata struck him, causing him to cough up blood too. Seeing an opportunity presented to her, Hinata capitalized on it by grabbing Niji's outstretched arm in a tight grip and using her middle and index fingers to quickly strike 2 chakra points in his arm. Niji grunted and retaliated just as fast by striking a chakra point on Hinata's side. Said Kunoichi gritted her teeth in pain as she and Niji both threw powerful palm strikes at one another. Their blows landed in the chest area, expelling excess chakra from their bodies, causing both Hyugas to once again spew blood out of their mouths. Each taking a few steps away. I have to give credit where credit is due, Hinata-sama. I didn't expect for you to be this much of a challenge. To think you, like myself, are able to see the chakra points. Niji said. He always held on to the belief that people can't change. Now, he's unsure how to feel. It'd be foolish of him to delude himself into thinking the Hinata he's fighting is the usual, shy and weak Hinata he's always known. What could have happened to her to make her become what she is now? This confidence and skill, just where did it come from? So all this time you could see the Tenketsus. You really are amazing Niji Nyasan, my Byakugan has only developed the ability to see the Tenketsus recently during our fight, believe it or not Hinata replied. Niji's eyes widened hearing this. Wait, is she saying that her Byakugan is literally maturing to a higher level as we fight? That's impressive. The two continued their battle, eventually Niji had started to get the upper hand only due to the 2 blow he gave to Hinata dead in her chest, actually caused more damage than she expected. Still, she wasn't making it easy for Niji at all. He was giving it his all now knowing that if he doesn't he will no doubt lose. Something he never considered a possibility of happening from Hinata of all people. Niji landed a strong blow dead center of Hinata's chest again after she attacked his shoulder, disabling his left arm for the time being. Hinata was pushed down to the ground from the force behind Niji's palm strike. She skidded on the ground just a bit, breathing heavy while bleeding out the mouth. The same could be said for the Hyuga prodigy, as he had blood leaking down both sides of his mouth. Both his chest and arms screaming in pain, he can't even properly control his chakra due to some of his chakra points having been blocked off by his opponent. Niji is grateful he still had the stamina to keep standing and fighting. Still that didn't stop him from hoping that Hinata stays down, he already struck her in the middle of her chest at least 3 times. People were surprised to see Hinata forcing herself up. He gave me advice, he gave me the confidence to fight, he acknowledged me, he's watching me. I can't go out like this in front of Naruto-kun. Hinata thought as she finally stood back on her feet. Niji fought as best as he could with one working arm, Hinata went for a sweeping kick, which Niji avoided. He tried to catch her in the chin, yet she dodged his attempt. Hinata gave a palm strike to Niji's side that made him wince and cry out in pain. Again he retaliated with another strike to her chest. Sending Hinata back, she fell back to the ground because of the force behind Niji's blow. She coughed harshly, blood escaping her throat with each cough. Pain racked throughout her body, yet Hinata knew she couldn't give up. Again, to the shock of most people watching, she stood again, shakily. Niji honestly couldn't believe what he was seeing, he really thought his last attack would be enough to put her down for good. But somehow she still managed to get up, he put a lot into the last attack of his. Now he was starting to become frustrated beyond belief, why was he having such a hard time against her? Why? Why do you stand up? No matter how many times I keep forcing you to the ground, why do you continue to defy your fate and keep standing? If we continue like this, you'll really die, Hinata-sama. Niji voiced his frustration and confusion. I can tell you're just barely standing, like myself, only worse. You've shouldered the lot of having been born to the head family of the Hyuga clan. And cursed and blamed yourself for being weak. But people cannot change, it doesn't matter how hard you are trying in this fight to prove otherwise, you'll always remain weak. That's just the way it is. There's no need for you to suffer anymore. Surrender already. Hinata shook her head, her Byakugan deactivating as she breathed heavily. You're wrong Niji Nyasan. Niji's facial expression changed to a shocked one. Because I can tell that you are suffering much more than I, Hinata continued. What? Niji exclaimed. You are the one who is torn up over the fate of the main and branch family. Hinata finished. Niji felt his rage boil over at her words, how dare she say such a thing to him. He narrowed his eyes in anger and charged at Hinata with the intent to kill. Yelling out a rage-filled battle cry. Ignoring all of his pain and injuries in his rage. Pate's eyes widened. Niji, the match has been called. Niji ignored him and kept running towards Hinata. Before Hayate or any of the other Jounin could react to stop Niji. They all saw there was no need to as Naruto moved before any of them could. The Black Dragon of Apocalypse appeared in front of Niji, stopping the Hyuga's charge by wrapping a portion of his tail around Niji's chest firmly, also Naruto had his finger pushing into Niji's jugular. Said Hyuga was very surprised with Naruto's interference. Currently however he's more focused on breathing as Naruto pushing in his jugular not only forced him to gasp loudly, he's having trouble breathing properly through his throat. Yeah, I know you have beef with her and all, but I can't let you kill her exactly, she has too much potential that would go to waste if you were to foolishly kill her. Which will no doubt lead to the Hyuga clan killing you, a branch member for killing the Hyuga clan heiress. I'm sure you wouldn't want to lose your life because you made a stupid mistake in your anger over words, am I right? Don't answer, I know I am. Anyways I'm only going to tell you this once, Neji Hyuga. Either you cease your intent on killing Hinata or I will take away what makes you a man. Choose wisely. Naruto's last words echoed with his power behind them. Neji flinched from both Naruto's threat and tone, he nodded his head vigorously in agreement. He was losing air by the second. Naruto stared at him for a second longer before releasing him. Neji could be seen breathing heavily, trying to the air he lost. Before Naruto walked over to Hinata, he touched Neji and started healing him back to 100% using his healing magic. Neji became shocked to see himself covered in green healing aura, he can feel and see all of his injuries being healed, his chakra points becoming reopened, along with his stamina returning to full capacity. Within seconds, Neji was completely healed. He watched on and wondering and confusing as Naruto walked over to Hinata, who just fell to her knees coughing up more blood. Those who didn't know about them already were shocked to see Naruto has healing capabilities. Powerful healing to say the least from what they could tell. Hiruzen knew this was only getting worse for him. How is he supposed to explain this to the council? Hinata watched Naruto walk up to her with a proud smirk on his face. He touched the top of her head, she relished his touch as much as she could. Hinata became happier that Naruto started healing her like he had done to Neji. That's good because she had felt she was very close to passing out. Several seconds later, Hinata was back to full health courtesy of her crush. You may have lost, but you did better than I expected out of you, Hinata. Naruto told her. Naruto-kun thank you she blushed lightly. I see. Neji's voice caused them to look at the male Hyuga. Seeing their interaction, Neji concluded that Naruto is the cause of Hinata's recent change in behavior. You may have my thanks for healing me, but you should give up on trying to help that failure. She may have put up a good fight, but it resulted in nothing in the end. She lost just like fate determined she would, no matter how hard you try to help her. You will come to realize that people can't change. There's no changing that. She will always remain a failure. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Neji, who smirked in turn. Hinata looked okay between the two in a bit of worry. That's some real tough talk coming from the trash who almost lost to the so-called failure you're referring to. The truth is right in front you, people can change, and you can't seem to see or want to accept that. But no worries, if you want, why don't you come say that to my face? I'll gladly help you accept the truth, one way or another Naruto replied. Neji narrowed in his eyes, reactivating his Byakugan. Is that right? The atmosphere was tense as Naruto and Neji stared off against one another, both prepared to make a move. The Jounin were ready to intervene if these two do end up trying to actually fight. Hinata looked back between Naruto and Neji in worry, she really didn't want a fight to happen between them. Naruto spoke up again. Well Neji. What's it going to be? After staying silent for another several seconds, the Hyuga prodigy turned back off his Byakugan and smirked. We will settle this dispute between us during the finals, acnologia. Prepare for what's to come. He walked off, heading to the stairs. As if I would need to prepare to crush trash like you, but fine, the finals it is. Naruto turned his attention back to a nervous Hinata. Come on Hinata, we've delayed the start of the next match long enough. He picked up her bridal style, causing her to blush profusely as he jumped up to the upper level. Once they were back up there, Naruto allowed Hinata back to her feet. Hinata thanked Naruto again before heading over to her team. Well having someone who can heal will be very useful to have on the team. Kakashi thought. Rock Lee vs Gaara. Gaara and Lee were down on the lower level, preparing to battle. Now then the 9th match begin. Hey gave the signal. This fight had proven to be one of Taijutsu vs Sand. Lee was able to break through Gaara's automatic defense using his speed and Taijutsu. Gaara made it hard on Lee with his sand attacks, in fact the fight had gotten so difficult for Lee, he had no choice but to use primary Lotus, Amit Renge, on Gaara. In hopes that it would be enough to defeat Gaara. Only to realize that it was all for naught since Gaara switched himself with a sand clone to avoid the impact of Lee's technique. For a while Gaara had Lee on the ropes from that point on, that was until Lee knew he had to go all out and bring out the 8 inner gates, Hachiman, as his last resort. Poor Gaara suffered a huge beatdown, Lee was striking him so fast that it was impossible for Gaara to keep up. He couldn't defend himself at all, he was truly stunned that someone had been able to push him so far in battle. Preparing for his finishing move of the reverse lotus, Ura Renge, Lee opened the 5th gate, Gate of Closing, Toman, to increase his strength further. By delivering a powerful punch and kick to Gaara, the Suna Jinchuriki collided to the ground in a powerful crash. Luckily he broke his gourd to use the sand inside to cushion his fall. Lee received compound fractures in his limbs, his muscles all over his body were torn to shreds, and he was also exhausted. He landed on the ground, taking a lot of deep breaths. Too bad for Lee that Gaara wasn't finished with him yet. Gaara manipulated his sand to wrap around Lee's left arm and left leg. Closing up his hand, Gaara ordered his sand to crush Lee's 2 limbs. Sabaku kick, sand coffin. Lee cried out in pain, he fell to the ground completely unconscious. Just when Gaara was about to finish Lee off for good, Guy stepped in and blasted all of Gaara's incoming sand away easily. Seeing Guy stand protectively in front of Lee caused Gaara to grab his head in pain, brief flashbacks of his past flooding his mind. Why save him? Gaara asked Guy. I answered him. He's an important subordinate whom I care for. Gaara couldn't understand what those words meant, he stared at Guy for a moment longer, then called his sand back to him to reform his gourd and cracks in his sand armor. The Redeed stood up and walked away, saying, I quit. Due to interference of his Jounin sensei, Lee is disqualified. The winner is Garhate stopped. Everyone was surprised to see Lee back on his feet in his fighting stance. Both Gaara and Guy turned to see Lee. That's impossible. Guy walked up to Lee, placing a hand on his shoulder. Lee, it's alright, it's over. You're in no condition to stand. That's when Guy realized that Lee is still unconscious. Lee, tears flowed down Guy's eyes. Alright, you can stop with the tears now, they're unnecessary. Naruto suddenly said as he appeared right next to Guy and Lee. I was surprised to see Naruto come down, he was about to ask him what is he doing. But then Dragon Slayer stepped closer to them and placed a hand on Lee. Guy was amazed to see Lee being covered in healing aura. That's when he understood, Naruto was healing Lee's injuries like he did for Neji and Hinata earlier. Within seconds Lee was healed back to perfect condition, however he was still unconscious, so Guy had to carry his student over his shoulder. Lee, you definitely earned more of my respect when you still stood back on your feet even when you're unconscious. Naruto noted mentally to himself as he took 2 steps back once he finished healing Lee. Alright there, he's good as new, so quit your tears already. I already healed Lee once before as a way of repaying a debt RT mode to him. This time I did it out of respect for him, but just to be clear Guy sensei. Both you and Lee are in debt to me now for saving Lee's career as a shinobi. Those injuries he suffered were too great to be fully healed by the medics of this village. All I want is for you guys to return a favor if I need one from you. Naruto told Guy. I nodded in agreement, very grateful for Naruto's actions. He bowed his head. Very well, thank you for healing Lee, Naruto. The Dragon King waved him off. It's nothing, there's no reason a strong person like Lee shouldn't get the opportunity to reach his full potential. He's someone I look forward to seeing how strong he'll become in the future. I nodded and thanked Naruto one last time. Joji Akimichi vs Dosu Kanuta. The fight ended fast, Dosu won by using his gauntlet to emit sound waves directly into Choji's expanded body. Through the water within the body, the sound waves traveled to Choji's ears that he was hiding. He walked to the middle of the battle floor, coughing. It's finally over. At long last, the final round, Hiruzen thought while smoking his pipe. With this, the preliminaries for the 3rd test are completed. All of those who won their match, please come down here. The rest of you are free to leave. Hade announced for all to hear. The 10 finalists all made their way down to the lower level, Hiruzen, Ibiki and Anko also made their way down. Seeing that all of the finalists were down here and lined up, Hade spoke again. To everyone who has advanced to the final round of the 3rd exam of the Chunin exams, congratulations. Hiruzen was looking over the finalists. Here, in our house, we have 6 Konoha shinobi, 3 Suna shinobi, and 1 Odo shinobi. He pulled down his Hokage hat by the tip, giving a little smirk that annoyed Naruto. Well, I will begin the explanation of the final round. The final round is where each one of you will show off your battle skills in front of everyone. I want you to satisfactorily demonstrate and show off your ability as representatives of battle forces of your respective lands. Accordingly, the final round will commence 1 month from now. The reason for this is so that there's a suitable period of preparation. What do you mean? Shikamaru asked. That is to say, along with the announcement of the conclusion of the preliminary match to each country's daimyo and kage, readying the summons for the final round requires preparation time, not to mention the time it takes for you examinees to prepare. Hiruzen answered. This old man always has a roundabout way of saying things. Kankuro spoke up. I don't quite get what you're trying to say. What do you mean? In other words, in order to know your adversary, in order to prepare yourself, time is necessary. Time to analyze what you learned about the adversaries in the preliminaries, time to take stock of your successes. The battles until now were like actual battles, presupposed situations in which you can't know your adversary. Hiruzen explained. That's for sure, I never dreamed that this guy could make sand into a weapon. Shikamaru thought while glancing at Gaara. Hiruzen continued his explanation. However, this is not the case in the final round. Some of you might have already revealed everything in front of your rivals. In the spirit of fairness and equality, you will have 1 month to train yourselves and further your skills. Now that that's done, I'd like to let you take your leave. But first, for the final round, there is one more important matter to take care of. I want you all to calmly take one slip of paper from the box that Anko is holding. I'm going to go around in order, take only one. Anko walked up to Dosu. Each of the 10 finalists took one paper out as Anko went down the line, all of them opening the paper to see a number written on it. Ibiki spoke up next. Good, everyone has taken a number. Then, from left to right, tell me the number on your slip of paper. I'm 10. Dosu said. 1. Naruto voiced. 8. Sakura announced. 4. Sasuke declared. 7. Temari said. 5. Kankuro told his number. 3. Gaara voiced. 9. Shikamaru said. 2. Niji declared. 6. Shino announced. Hiruzen nodded. Very well, I will tell you about how the final round will work. Ibiki, bring forth the pairings. Yes, sir. Ibiki turned his clipboard around to show who is fighting who. Shino noted who his opponent in the finals was. Sasuke is so far away, so is acnologia. Dosu thought. Is that all the final round is? A tournament? Temari wondered. That sound guy, huh? Vendetta for Choji? I wonder, Shikamaru thought. Man, I'm so relieved to know that I won't be in the same section as Gaara. Kankuro was relieved. Ichiha Sasuke, Gaara thought. HMPH, so Gaara is the one I'm facing, Sasuke concluded to himself. What? A tournament? And Sasuke-kun has to go up against that sand guy? Sakura asked herself. Perfect. Niji thought, seeing who he's facing. Well, it looks like I will get to crush that Hyuga trash sooner than I expected. Naruto smirked darkly. First match. Uzumaki Naruto vs Hyuga Niji. Second match. Gaara vs Uchiha Sasuke. Third match. Kankuro vs Aburame Shino. Fourth match. Temari vs Haruno Sakura. Fifth match. Nara Shikamaru vs Kanuta Dosu. Could I ask a question? Shikamaru raised his hand. Go ahead. Hiruzen replied. Does this mean that there will be only one winner of the tournament? That only one of us will be able to become a Chunin? Shikamaru asked. Hiruzen answered. No, on the contrary. The judges of the final round, of which I am one, will be made up of the Kazekage, the daimyo from various countries who will assign you your missions, and the shinobi leaders. Through this tournament, these judges will be able to match a thorough evaluation and come to a decision as to whether each of you possesses the qualities incumbent of a Chunin. Even if someone loses the first round, they can still become a Chunin. So there's a chance that all of us will become Chunin. Temari said. Correct, but conversely, there's also a chance none of you will. To advance in the tournament means maximizing chances to appeal yourselves to the judges. Understood, Shikamaru-kun. Shikamaru nodded. This is a real pain in my ass. Thank you for your patience. We will adjourn this meeting until next month. Hiruzen said. Everyone began leaving the arena, Team 7 was gathered together. Alright team, I think this calls for a celebration for all 3 of you making it to the finals. It's on me. Kakashi said, proud of his team. Naruto was about to turn his offer down, but decided he may as well get some free food. After this though, he has some business to take care of. The Dragon King can tell this is going to be one hell of an interesting month for him. What if Naruto was raised by acnologia and fairy tale end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.